Then we unplug the monitor.
You can start anytime.
There you go. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Joe Bates on Trek Lions coming to you from Ferguson Field. Very important Region 5 football game this evening, where the Bear River Bears will take on the Box Elder Bees. And, of course, the Bear River Bears are visiting, and maybe that's one advantage that will happen this evening is that the Box Elder Bees are at home. We'll have that home crowd advantage, but it looks to me like on the other side of the field, Trek, we're watching quite a bit of Bear River fans already file in. So I think that may even out as the evening progresses this evening. Now, Trek is going to be interesting tonight because the Bear River Bears are ranked one of the top teams in the state. I think the Deseret News has them ranked second in the state. And I think the Ogden Standard has them third in the state, with Mountain Crest #1 in both polls, which says a lot for this team that's coming in this evening. Interesting matchup, of course, will be the fact of the running back Jared Burnett, which seems to be the mainstay of the Bear River Bears, has been slightly injured, so we have no idea tonight how much he will be used in the football game. There have been some rumors that he would be used sparingly. Others have said that he healed quite well from the injury and would be full force tonight. So that's kind of a real variable we'll have to look at. Now, the other end of it, their starting quarterback last week did sustain a dislocated shoulder, as we understand it, and so he will be replaced this evening by another quarterback, which we'll talk about the lineups in just a moment. As we look at the Region 5 standings, we see Mountain Crest on the top with a 4-0 record. Then we see Bear River 3-0. Then Box Elder is in third place with a 3-1. Ogden goes 1-2. Ben Lomond 1-3. Logan 0-3, and Skyview rounds out the bottom with an 0-3 record. Now, it'll be interesting tonight as we watch this football game and we see what happens in the standings, because there's a lot of different possibilities, Trek, that can happen tonight after this game. Bear River could go undefeated, be tied with Mountain Crest, and I think I'm correct. I think Mountain Crest and Bear River play next week, as Box Elder will draw a bye. And then, if Box Elder would win this football game, that would put them 4-1 with Skyview left to play, with Mountain Crest and Bear River to play each other. Then if Bear River were to defeat Mountain Crest, there could be a three-way tie for first place. So a lot of possibilities if Skyview lost to Box Elder, of course. So a lot of possibilities. Nevertheless, it does look like Box Elder has at least a bid into the state playoffs, no matter what, because they're taking 4 places. So it'd be very difficult for Box Elder to not probably get a bid to the state playoffs. So it'll be an interesting matchup tonight, because the Bear River Bears, as we've looked at the lineups, are very, very big up front. And Trek will go over that right now and tell you how big they are up front.
This offensive line for Bear River has been punching holes in defenses the whole season long, giving Jared Burnham and the other backs for Bear River plenty of open daylight to get into the open field. Starting tonight for the Bear River Bears, we have at tackle Phil Sowers. He's 6 foot, 250 pounds, great big guy over there on the left side. At guard is Courtney Richmond. He's 5'9", 185. Starting at center, we have Ryan Kent, 5'9", 210. At the other guard is number 54, Jared Lish, 5'10", 210 pounds. And starting over at tight end is number 84, Matt Riley, 6'1", 170. Another interesting, important fact is that all these young men are seniors. They've worked a lot together, and that kind of experience is going to help Bear River an awful lot. The one wide out, we have number 44, Cody Merritt. He's 6'2", 235, another senior. Over on the other side, number 87, Ryan Goodliff, 5'9", 169 pounds, number 87. We have starting in the backfield, number 1, Riley Nelson. Was he the quarterback that was hurt? He was the 10th grader that got hurt. And tonight we saw it down there working out, number 14, LeGrand Woodsworth. He's 5'10", 145 pounds. In the backfield, alternating will be Gary Christiansen, 5'7", 160 pounds. He rotates with Brady Austin, 5'11", 187 pounds. And at tailback, number 34, Jared Burnham, 6 foot, 180. And seeing sometime will be number 24, Kurt Garfield. He's 180 pounds as a sophomore. And that's the Bear River offense.
As we look at the Box Elder offense, there's not too many surprises tonight. The only injury that the Box Elder Bees sustained last week, Ryan Shaw, number 44, one of the linebackers and also tight end, suffered a shoulder separation, Trek, and at first it didn't look like it was going to be a severe, but I've talked to Ryan several times, talked to his, just heard his dad talking this evening up in the booth, and he'll be used very sparingly tonight. It looks like probably more on offense than defense, but the x-rays show that that was a pretty severe shoulder separation, and if anybody's ever had one of those, it doesn't hurt a lot as far as dexterity, but when you try to lift your hands over your head, that's where the pain begins, and so he's having a little bit of a difficult time. Offensively, though, we will see Shea Quintana, the center, and he's a big center, and he does a good job for the quarterback, number 17, Joe Stewart. Number 7, I said 17. Number 7, Joe Stewart. Number 63 will be at right guard at Stender again, and on the right next to him on the tackle position is Eric Lichter. And Eric Lichter has really been an outstanding blocker, he along with Stender. They run a lot on that particular side, so watch for that this evening. And then, of course, Ryan Shaw is the tight end, number 44. Wide receiver is Adam Smoot. He's on the one side, number 10. On the other side is Steve Blanchard, number 88. And also Tom Birchtold also serves in that particular position once in a while. Left tackle is Scott Roach, and boy, he does a super job both offensively and defensively for the Box Elder Bees. Number 77 is the other guard. That's Sean McNeely, who's a very, very strong young man. Running backs, again, number 5, Berto Rodriguez on one side of the store. The other side is number 30, Steve Graves. And just before we began the pregame show, we were talking about Kenny Hendricks. Kenny Hendricks, if you haven't heard, had a ruptured appendix. He's doing very well. He came by my house the other day, and I talked to him. He had his stitches removed today, and he seems to be doing much, much better. And he hopes to see maybe some action in the post-game playoffs. We want to look at the defense, and as we're doing that, Trek, I have some statistics, so let's go over those as we're looking at these players. Rounding out the defense, of course, we've talked time and time again about Roach. And we just know Casey Roach, number 56, is linebacker, is leading the team. He has 22 tackles, 52 assists. So that kind of shows you what kind of a consistent player you're having in Corey Roach. The other linebacker is Russell Juber, number 54. He has 14 tackles, 33 assists. So that shows you, again, a lot of consistency. Tom Siddell, of course, we're going to see at defensive tackle. He has 6 tackles, 23 assists. Steve Gailey, and he had a great game a couple of games ago. He's the other defensive tackle, and he has, 7, Trek? I'm reading that number. So it looks like 7, I think, and 23 assists. And then we have Mulestein, and he has 3 tackles, 14 assists. And Mulestein, make sure we get these numbers for you because I know that people watch numbers a lot more than they do names. We don't have his number. Yeah, we do. Go ahead and give it a number on that program.
Brian Mulestein, he's number 68. Good pass rusher. We've seen him in on a lot of pass rushes.
All right, right. Brian Mulestein, 68. Hollingsworth, Burke Hollingsworth, number 23, defensive end. 3 tackles and 21 assists. But what's interesting about this young man is he's not very big, but he has a lot of heart. Ryan Shaw, we've mentioned, 5 tackles, 13 assists. He's number 44. Bill Morrell has done a nice job at the linebacker position. He's number 45, 11 tackles, 22 assists. Then we look down here and we see Cunningham. And Cunningham has done a nice job also. And once you look his number up real quick, he gets into the ballgame quite a bit. He has 5 tackles and 19 assists.
Robert Cunningham, he's number 40, playing on the outside.
All right, and then Matt Maddox, of course, at one of the free safety positions, number 24, 9 tackles, and that looks like 19 assists. And Hans Peterson is at that other position, at that cornerback, 3 tackles, 14 assists. Then, of course, Hawks and Beecher, who had those 2 interceptions last week, who was our defensive player of the game, as well as the coach's defensive player of the game. 7 tackles and 13 assists. And so we're going to see a lot of action tonight in this football game. And we probably will see, I think, down to the wire ball game. I picked the Bees by 7, Trek. Usually I'm not very biased, and I try not to be, but I just think that 2 things may happen this evening. One is I do think the Bear River Bears have a lot of talent, but I think the one thing psychologically that may affect this football game this evening is I think they may be overlooking the Box Elder Bees and be looking at Mountain Crest just a little bit too soon. Now, that's been a little bit of what the media has brought out, and I have a tendency to think the same. What's your feelings today?
I think you could be right with that. That seems to be the showdown that everyone's been predicting the entire season. These 2 teams bouncing around in the top 5 of the state. They're looking at each other the whole time, wondering what the other's doing on each Friday night. Here's a game that's very crucial for Bear River. This could be a game where Box Elder could launch themselves right into the top of the division, and Bear River could, if they are a little complacent tonight, they'll have their hands full with an emotionally high-powered Box Elder team, because this is the kind of game that could really help them. And I know that the coaches and the players are really intense about this game tonight, and it becomes a big thing to them.
Well, not to mention that Box Elder Bees, with the win tonight, could probably jump into the top 10 in the state, because this would be a big win. Well, we'll see what happens, and we're just about 15 minutes away from the opening kickoff. And so this is Joe Batesel and Trek Lyons. We'll be back for the opening kickoff between the Box Elder High School Bees playing the visiting Bear River Bears after this. We have so much static, Bruce. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back just a few moments away from the opening kickoff with tonight's game between the Box Elder High School Bees and the Bear River Bears. And Trek's going to go ahead and finish the defensive lineup for the Bear River Bears.
Okay, I failed to go through their starting defensive lineup. Starting at defensive tackle, 5'10", 205 pounds, Spencer Gary. Nose guard, Tyler Pella, 5'9", 207. The other tackle is Brent Munn, 6', 200. Another big lineup for the Bear River Bears on the defensive side. Starting in the 3-4 defense at linebackers, Ryan Castano, number 49, 6', 1 inch, 185 pounds on the outside. On the other side, 6'2", 235 pound Cody Merritt, number 44. And alternating with him will be number 42, Brady Austin, 5'11", 187 pounds. In the middle, number 22, Matt Hess, 5'7", 155. Number 54, Jared Lish, 5'10", 210 pounds. And these linebackers are stunting linebackers. They go on blitzes quite often with that 3-4 defense. Starting at the corners, number 47, Chris Combs, 5'11", 170 pounds. The other corner is Brooks Peterson, 5'8", 140. At free safety is Jerry Chris Jansen, 5'7", 160. And starting at strong safety, who rose around the field to the strong side of the offense, is number 32, Eric Rowe, 6', 1 inch, 160 pounds.
And we had the captains out for tonight's game. Number 56 was out there. That's Casey Roach. And also number 7, Joe Stewart, the quarterback, was also out there for the toss, flip of the coin. And Box Elder, it looks like, will receive the opening kickoff. And I think that's an advantage, personally, because I think the team that scores first tonight will definitely be in the driver's seat just a little bit, because that will immediately show momentum, which we've seen in the past, which seems to be a deciding factor with a lot of the games that we've already played. And, of course, we saw that last week against the Ben Lomond Scots. The Box Elder had the momentum, and the Scots never seemed to even regain any type of momentum during that ball game, and were literally blown off this field by the Box Elder Bees. Tonight we may see a different ball game, though. These are two, I feel, evenly matched team. A lot of the sports writers, obviously, and the Ogden Examiner feel the same way I do. We're back to receive the opening kickoff is Joe Stewart again, back very deep for the Bees. So we'll see if they decide to kick it to him. And here we go. the opening kickoff, and Joe Stewart is going to receive it. He catches it and looks for a wall there. Sees a little opening and picks up some good yardage. So the Box Elder Bees with quarterback Joe Stewart will take over 1st and 10. And we'll see where that marked the ball. They placed the ball down, so it looks like about the 34-yard line. So the Bees will take over on the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. And we'll see what they do. First play, I'm sure, will be just a straight handoff play to see what kind of defense the Bear River Bears have tonight against the rush. Stewart barking signals. He runs into his own man. There has to keep the ball. Tries to turn the corner. Is turned back once. And then spins, takes a spin move, and then pulls upfield. I think he might have...
I think they'll mark him forward for about a yard gain or real close to the line of scrimmage. He didn't get too far forward. It'll be interesting to see how nerves play right at the first of this game. On the drive, both these teams are going to be a little uptight.
For that time, it just looked like one of his linemen just really bumped into him on that play. Maybe they were not sure of the play. Exactly right. Joe Stewart with a 2nd down now and 9. Well, they didn't give him any yardage. I gave him a yard, but he didn't get any. And there's nothing there again. Oh, looks like we have a fumble. It's a fumble. So the Bear River Bears will take over with a fumble on the 2nd play from scrimmage, and that is not a good sign for the Box Elder Bees. 2 plays, a fumble, and the Bear River Bears will start 1st and 10. And we'll look and see if we have Jared Burnham in the lineup, see if he's back there on offense for the Bear River Bears. We'll take a look at that. It does look like he's back there, I think. Grant Woodworth is the quarterback. There's a handoff. Boy, some good yardage there. They just kind of stack them up, but that strong running back, is that Burnham on that first carry? It is, Jared Burnham. He looks like he picked up
about 5
good yardage, 5 yards, so 5 yards a whack for Burnham.
Looked on that, like on that defensive play, they were stripping the ball as the Bear River tacklers tackled it. That's something in the game fields I'm sure the defensive coaches for Bear River spotted. And they went right after it, right off the bat.
So a 2nd down and 5 for the quarterback, LeGrand Woodworth. Burnham back there. He runs from a lot of different positions. He's trying to worm his way through there. The Bees read that and really stopped Burnham this time, it looks like.
Looked like the whole defensive front piled that one up. We've seen Box Elder's defense a lot this season. Started off a little shaky on the first few drives, then settle right down, come back with some very good defensive stands as the games progress.
I think Burnham maybe gained 1 yard if he was lucky. He barely made it past the scrimmage line, so that'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 for the Bears. And right now, Box Elder trying to hold very tight after a fumble. 3rd down play, a big 3rd down play for the Bears. There's that handoff to Burnham, and he's stacked up, and he stopped. I know he comes up short, and he does. Good gang tackling by the Bees on that play.
That was great.
Steve Gailey in on that one, and Gailey and Roach also. Good call.
Or not Brian Juber. Brian's little brother Russell was in on that also. That was super. The first man makes contact, and the rest of the team came to wrap around and pile up on him.
I think he might have even lost a yard on that particular play. I'm going to give him a -1 on that. I think he lost a yard.
I think you're right.
So the Bear River Bears faced with a 4th down. They're going to go for it. I don't know what kind of kicker they have. There's a handoff. He does. He reads the blocks really well and picks up the 1st down or very close to it. He does pick up the 1st down. That time it looked like it was not Burnham.
It was Chris Jansen. That was a great call by the Bear River offense there. Knowing that the Bees would be keying on Burnham, they split him out to the left, sent him in motion, distracted the defense. The defense wasn't really looking for Chris Jansen to pop up the middle off the right side.
I think he picked up at least 5 or 6 yards on that. He picked up a lot more than he needed. So 1st and 10 for the Bear River Bears. A good call by the coach on that play. There goes again. That's Chris Jansen. And, he's kind of a tricky little runner, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He just kind of picks his way right up at the line of scrimmage, finds a little gap, and tries to weave through it. Again, they split Burnham off to the right, trying to draw the attention of the Bees defense over on him.
So he picks up 2 yards on that particular carry. So they're faced with a 2nd down and 8. Now, it looks to me like they're almost using Burnham as a decoy and setting him up for Burnham to maybe run it wide or even an off-tackle play. time. He's dropping back to pass. Oh, he has a man wide open in the end zone, and he catches it, and it's a touchdown. Wide open. Woodworth that time, a little fake into the line, and then drew the Bees in. And then that receiver, who caught that football?
Number 25 for
Number 25.
the Bear River Bears.
He's not even on our starting lineup. Find him on the roster there.
I don't see him there. They haven't got him listed.
All right.
Good move to get to the inside of the defensive back.
There's the extra point, and it goes through. So about a 24-yard pass from Woodworth to whoever. Number 35, is that who it was?
I think it's number 25 on
25?
the unknown receiver for the Bears.
Yeah, we don't have a program up here. We apologize for that.
It was kind of a slow developing play on that one. He cut off to the left side, running the little post pattern. It's kind of a rounded post pattern. He didn't make much of a cut, but the pass was right there, and he slid inside the defensive back and caught it right in the middle of the end zone.
Well, the Box Elder Bees are their own enemies that time because they had 2 plays and a fumble, so you can't score on a fumble. And then, of course, they had such great field position, the Bear River Bears, in 6 plays, finally go in for a touchdown with a 24-yard pass from Woodworth to whoever that number is. We'll find out who that is in just a minute. There's another kickoff. Stewart back, stepping in front of him, though.
Matt Maddox.
That's Matt Maddox.
He's broken.
He can go all the way. Matt
He's
Maddox, he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. There's no flags. There's no flags, no clipping. They're just going to let him go into the end zone. Touchdown, Box Elder. 6-6, and all comes up now is the extra point, and this ball game will be tied. Bear River looked very flat-footed on that. They were not very intense. Maddox looked like 1 tackle, and then he was off to the races. Great speed. The whole touchdown for Matt Maddox.
Looks like the hole popped open about the 30-yard line. From there, you could tell that he was gone. From where we're sitting, we could see the field open right up, and the Bear River defense just spread out. It was very unusual kick coverage by the
How many yards was that one, Trek?
Looks like he probably went about 85 yards on that one.
85 yards. Extra point is good. So the score is tied. Box Elder 7 and the Bear River Bears 7. And boy, you talk about coming back and be resilient after a fumble. You can't ask for any more exciting football than a 85-yard kickoff return from Matt Maddox.
So that's a huge momentum stopper for the Bears, having that kind of thing happen to them. I think teams usually like starting off on defense, and the game's just started all over again now. The Box Elder will be starting on their defense.
Well, that's exactly right. What you just mentioned is now it looks like maybe it looks like a little bit of those jitters or whatever they've had, pregame jitters, are gone now because both teams realize that they can score, and they can score quickly. So I think now we're going to see two football teams play some football because what a great surprise now for the fans who kind of were sitting a little bit back wondering if the Bees were going to score at all tonight. So what an exciting opening chain of events here with the Bears scoring and then the Box Elder Bees coming back with a touchdown. There's a end-over-end kick. Oh, and they fumble it. He hasn't picked it up yet. Finally, he does pick it up. Oh, and he's knocked backwards, and a great gang tackling by the Box Elder Bees. Way to, that's the kind of tackling you want going on, is that swarm to the ball, swarm to the man.
Yeah, that first
knocked him back about 3 yards.
He got popped really good by the second man coming down. I hope he's all right. Once he got the handle on, he looked forward, and all he saw was a wave of purple coming at him.
Okay. Bryce Norman will give him credit for the tackle for the Box Elder Bees. So the Bear River Bears, excuse me, with not very much field position right now on the 21-yard line, their own 21. Box Elder Bees, we'll see what kind of defense they have now. They got to watch out for that pass. There's a handoff, picking his way through, picking up several yards, but still good tackling by the Bees on that play with about 7:19 left in the first period of play.
It's good work up front by the Bear River offensive line, trap blocking the guards, moving around, coming over, picking up their keys and getting into them, getting into the Box Elder secondary. Another large gain for the Bears. Good as you said, Joe, good gang tackling by the Bees.
Still a 6-yard gain, though. That's the one thing that you got to be careful of with the rushing offense. Again, picking his way and not picking up the first down. Again, good tackle in there by the Bees, trying to read that.
Looks like they'll be about a yard short from the first down.
That guy's name is Nelson, we found out, I think it is. Nelson.
The receiver on that touchdown pass?
I think that's what they said his name is.
Oh, we got to give him credit there. That was a good pattern he ran.
Great pattern. Great pass, too, from Woodworth.
He's on the
3rd down and 1. We'll see if the Bees can stop the Bears right here. It'd be a great momentum. Builder. Oh, and he's going outside. That's Burnham. He's going to go all the way. They're not going to catch him. Maddox chasing him, but he's gone. That's a touchdown. No flags. Box Elder Bees now see another touchdown by the Bear River Bears. And boy, everything they've said about Jared Burnham is true. He's got the speed and he's got great strength as well.
Sorry about that, Joe. He had a great seal block by the right tackle over there. Box Elder's defense got past him, and by the time they got in the backfield, Jason Burnham was already 12 yards down the field.
So he ran that for...
looked like about 65 yards.
65 or 70. They were on the 29, I think.
That was
a long touchdown. There's a fake. Man's wide. Oh, he overthrows him.
I think that was a bobbled snap.
Yeah, it looked like it was.
This looks like going to be an exciting ball game, putting a lot of points up on the board early.
Too many for the Box Elder Bees right now. We'll see what happens, though. They could come right back and score. So about a 70-yard run by Jared Burnham, the one that we've been talking about all week, and I'm sure the scouts are looking at him tonight.
I'm really impressed by the play selection. You know, not too many of them by the Bear River Bears, but they're keeping Box Elder's defense right now really confused as to what they're trying to run. The Box Elder defense hasn't been able to isolate on anything yet, except they know that when Jared Burnham has the ball, he's dangerous.
13-7 in favor of the Bears, and the Bees are going to look again at this kickoff. Who knows what's going to happen tonight, folks? Just kind of stay tuned because you're going to see a lot of scoring, I'm afraid. Not much defense right now. Kick is deep, and trying to field it is, looks like Graves. He's looking for some blocks. Oh, and he's hit hard and brought down. That's not going to be very good field position for Joe Stewart and the Box Elder Bees. But he kind of tried to field that ball like an outfielder, and it went over his outstretched fingers and had a hard time bringing it back in.
It's kind of one of those line drive kicks. The ball gets moving a lot faster than those end-over-end ones. Just kind of sailed right past him when he got the ball. The Bear River defense had already got through the wall of the Box Elder kicking team.
Well, we'll see what the Bees do. Joe Stewart is the quarterback. There's a run on the right side that time, picking up great yardage.
It's like Graves got forward for about 9 on that one.
Sees where they mark it. He may have picked up 9 yards. He's very close to the first down. I don't think he got, well, he might have. He's very close. 2nd down and 1, so he did pick up 9 yards on the carry.
It'd be a good time for one of those great offensive drives that we've seen Box Elder pull off this season.
One man in motion. They always throw that one man in motion each time. There's another handoff there. That's Graves again, it looks like. He picks up the first down. A good run by Graves. Steve Graves.
Forward for about 10 more yards.
I think he picked up another 10 yards on that carry.
They did. We've seen Steve Graves. We were talking just a few minutes ago. He averages 5 yards a carry. And he goes over that big right side of Cinder and Lister. Those two guys, they blow open a hole for anybody.
So far, it's been all offense for both teams. The Box Elder Bees keeping it on the ground right now and doing a very fine job. Good blocking in there by the line. Going to give them Stewart. Stewart, he's got a man open. It's Shaw, but he just can't reach it. It's a nice pattern that Shaw ran. It just was just a little bit out of his reach. It looks like maybe Stewart had to hurry that ball up just a little bit.
Joe, you notice on that kind of pass that Stewart dropped back in the pocket, Looks like he's a good pocket passer, too. We've always talked about what quick feet he has. He stopped there, and he set up a block and gave himself 2 or 3 more seconds to throw that pass, and that's an interesting thing for a young quarterback to do.
Okay, 2nd down and 10. That's the first incomplete pass that Stewart has thrown. His first attempt. Long snap from center. Did they call offsides? I think they did. I think one of the linemen fired offsides just a little bit too soon. That's going to hurt the Bees. Penalties hurt the Bees during the Ben Lomond game. Even though they had kind of a lopsided victory, they had 11 penalties in the second half last week.
And that was unusual, but Boxcar hasn't picked up that many penalties. I don't know if something they drank at halftime turned them into such penalty-hungry guys or what the deal was, but that was totally uncharacteristic of the team.
Well, you know, I watched films on that, and I thought for a while, I thought the refs were calling way too many, but a lot of little anxious guys there going across the line just a little bit too soon. But that's okay. You'd rather them be that way than be a little bit docile. 2nd down and 15. There's a handoff. Not much there. They stacked that one up. They're waiting, and they smelled that one out. So that'll bring up a big 3rd down now for the Box Elder Bees, and the play they really don't like very much. They really like to pick up 5 and 6 yards of carry and keep that 1st down momentum and not have to go to this 3rd down and long yardage.
We've seen the Buckstar offense the entire year that on that 1st down play is so critical for them. When their 1st down play is unsuccessful in gaining a few yards or getting any yards, they have a tough time converting on their next few downs, and that 1st down seems to be a real crucial one for that offense.
Well, they're going to have to pick up a 1st down, in my opinion, because Bear River Bears are going to score. Ooh, I don't even know what they were doing on that play. That didn't even look like that developed well that time. I think Bear River Bears were waiting for that play. Stewart had absolutely no chance to get any yardage. The Bear River Bears were all over him before he even made his cut.
Here again, we see a lot the same thing that happened against Mountain Crest when the quick defensive line, you run outside on a quick defensive line, they're able to get outside on you.
Well, we're going to see what Box Elder's made out of because they're going to see if they can stop the Bears. That's a good punt by Stewart. Oh, it goes past the man. Of course, it's not live or anything, but still that's a great punt to get the Bears deeper in their own territory. So the Bears will take over again. 1st down and 10, and that's LeGrand Woodworth is the quarterback. He is at the helm for the Bear River Bears, and of course Joe Stewart for the Box Elder Bees. But right now the score is 13-7 in favor of the Bear River Bears with 3:40 left in the 1st period of play.
I think an important thing, Jason Burnham, he's a great athlete, but it's important for the Boxcar defense to recognize that, you know, he's not much different than them, not to stand in awe of him, but to come out and hit him, rock him hard a couple times. That'll slow him down.
We'll see what they do on this play. They're going to go back to Burnham again, and boy, he sure has great moves. Boy, he moves so well and looks for the holes. That's what impresses me about Burnham is that a good running back, of course, is a lot of strength and agility, but Burnham reads his defense extremely well. That time he went to his right and saw there was no opening, went back to his left. He has very quick feet.
He does got good eyesight, peripheral, to look to both sides, and he looked like he just cut back over to the left side, just going over till he found a spot to go forward.
Fumble on the play, but I don't know. I think the Bears got it back, though.
I think they're ruling it that the ground jarred it loose.
All right, so there'll be no gain on play. It's probably right back at that line of scrimmage, I think.
It's one of those quick snaps that the quarterback does before anyone's ready. They just come up and snap it.
They say he picked up a couple. Let's see. And I guess he did when they marked the ball. He might have picked up 2.
Like they got, what, a 3rd and 2.
So 3rd and 2, another big play for the Box Elder Bees defensively. They got him in the backfield. That's a great play by the Box Elder Bees. Number 54 isn't on the tackle, it looks like. That's super.
Yep.
And also getting off the pile is number, who was that?
Looked like Robert Cunningham.
Robert Cunningham is right.
You know, that was a good play all around. The quarterback gave a good play fake, holding the ball up, then giving it to the man coming across on a little counter play. The Box Elder defense didn't fall for that. That was a good play by both sides.
Well, the Box Elder Bees finally do hold the Bear River Bears from scoring for the first time. They're going to go for it. Now they're going to call a timeout. I think they're going to think it over. I really don't think that that's a good move by Roski. If he has that much confidence in his offense and they do pick it up, I guess that'll give them a great boost. But just think what that'll do for the box over defense if they stop them.
Yeah, he was pulling what we saw Perry Christensen do in Logan. Perry Christensen pulled the box over defensive line offside, and that's all the Bear River guy was doing. He knew that they weren't going to go for it. That was a good defensive stand by the Bees. They really needed that, the defense, so that they can get back into the rhythm that we've seen them play so much this year.
Well, you know, we mentioned the fact that the Box Elder Bees, if they have that veer offense, they have to pick up 3-4 yards a crack, because if they are faced with that third down and long yardage with that kind of veer offense, they don't have a great passing game. That really puts them in a hole. But that's any type of team. A wishbone team is the same way. Anybody that runs that veer has to pick up those big yardage on first and second down. And every time you get a penalty, that hurts you.
Yep. Especially those running teams that do that. Just what you said, Joe. Running the veer, you have to pick up yardage on that first down.
So they're going to punt. Oh, that was almost blocked. He gets a real wobbly kick. The Bees are going to have great field position. Gets a B bounce, and so the Box Elder Bees are going to have great field position to try to get back in this football game. A minute 30 left in first period, 13-7 in favor of the Bears. Both teams looking very good, though, as far as offensively tonight. Of course, defensively, both teams having a little bit of a problem. That time, both teams did stop the opponents and had them punt. So we'll see what happens on this series of downs. Maybe everybody is kind of getting rid of the butterflies and playing a little more stick-em football here. That's Graves on the carry. Graves is a hard-nosed runner. You know, he was kind of like Hendricks just a little bit, kind of a bull-type runner almost. Not too much finesse, but a lot of strength and power.
Just playing north and south. And just early going, you don't want to say this is the whole pattern for the game, but it looks like the Bees can run on them straight up the middle, just hard-nosed football right up the middle. When they run wide, I think they might have difficulty tonight.
They've got to stop their penalties because that's what stopped their momentum last time. Stewart on the carry. Oh, he's got a nice opening there. Stewart trying to go to the outside. He looks like he is at the first down marker. I think he does have the first down. He's very close.
That was a good run.
He does. He picks up the first down, probably a yard or two more.
Yep, I think he gained about 6 yards, and I'm glad they did that right after I said that they shouldn't run outside. I'm glad they ran outside and proved me wrong on that.
I'm going to give him about 8 yards. He had 7 yards to go, so I'm going to give him about 8 yards.
Good line blocking again on that right side. Good offensive line for the Bees on both sides, both left and right sides.
23 seconds left in the first. Excuse me, Trek. So Stewart at the quarterback position. He's looking to throw the ball. Oh, there's nobody there that time. He's intended for Blanchard, but there was nobody there. So that's his second incomplete pass. Brings up a second down and 10. Let me ask you this on that veer offense. Is it better maybe to try to pick up 3 or 4 yards and then on the second down maybe throw the pass, or are you trying to catch them off guard on that first down?
That's all up to the coach's preference. Wes Roesler has obviously scouted the defense a lot more than I have, and he would know better. Usually you'd like to get that good first down yards to give you a cushion so you can decide to do things like that.
There's a handoff. There's a great run that time. Was that Graves again?
Right up the middle.
You mentioned that up the middle is open, and he's very close to a first down again. We talk about that first down, which was an important down just a second ago. So the Bees are going to run out of time in the first period of play. So after the first period of play, the Bear River Bears 13, the Box Elder Bees 7, but they're marching down the field. We'll be back for the second period after this. First down.
He does. Great play by Joe Stewart, rolling out, catching his receiver, waited for him to make his break, and put that ball out there on the line.
So the pass is complete to Blanchard, and so nice play by Stewart that time. You know, I really enjoy Stewart as he's going back in that pocket. He really does stay in that pocket because that's where your blockers are. Once you roll out, you're not protected anymore.
I think you've got to give credit to Steve Blanchard for running a precise route right to the yard marker. That was a great route by Steve Blanchard.
Bees are on the march again. There's this time Adam Smoot is in motion. They always have one man in motion. There's a straight handoff play. Picks up just a couple of yards, but that keeps them honest. The thing about this kind of offense, it eats up a lot of clock, and it doesn't turn the ball back over to the Bears very much, so that's a ball control game I'm sure that Wes Roesler also has in mind.
It is. It's a good point, Joe. You keep it out of a high-powered offensive hands, and doesn't matter how high-powered they are. If they don't have the ball, they're not going to do anything.
2nd down and 8. The Bees really, except for that one fumble at the beginning of the game, and I think that was mostly butterflies, have really done very well offensively. Very patient to just pick up a little bit of yards. There goes the clock. He's going to get a penalty. He just waited too long to get the play in. They've got to stop those penalties because that really kills them, especially after they pick up a good first down. Now they're going to go back 5 yards. And so it's a 2nd down and 15. That's really a problem the bench has. They've got to get those plays in sooner. That's quarterback is kind of controlled by the way the bench sends in the plays.
Yeah, they are.
That time there looked to be a little bit of confusion on the play, I thought, though. So it's a 2nd down and 15, and you could see the referee. He was counting it. Of course, he's behind the quarterback. Quarterback has no idea sometimes. But Smoot in motion again. Stewart's going to throw it. Oh, it's too tall for Ryan Shaw, just a little bit over his fingertips.
That was a good pass by Stewart in there. Good pattern run by Shaw. We don't know how difficult of reception that is for Ryan Shaw. I don't know the condition of his shoulder.
Well,
but anytime the ball goes up over your shoulder blade, it's incredibly difficult with that kind of injury to catch it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's one thing that probably Shaw did not need, is have to reach up that way, but Stewart was being rushed. Stewart back, he's being rushed. He has a man open! It's a touchdown!
Great
That's
pass.
Berto Rodriguez. What a great pass from Stewart to Rodriguez, and the Bees again score. And the Bear River Bears look a little shocked, but they're in for a football game tonight.
We talked about Joe.
How many yards did that go there, Trek?
It
Let's
looked
get
like
that.
about 22 yards or so, from best I could see. About the 25-yard line was where the ball was spotted. We talked about Joe Stewart hanging in the pocket, and there he was again. He knew he was going to get hit, but he had enough courage to stay in there and composure to just unload the ball right on the dot to Berto Rodriguez.
And the extra point is good. So the Box Elder Bees are right in this football game. Matter of fact, they're ahead of this football game, 14-13, and I think the Bear River Bears came in just a little bit overconfident.
We saw that was a great run by Berto Rodriguez. He separated from the defensive back as soon as the ball got in the air. And that's something for a receiver. When he turns on the acceleration, if the defensive back doesn't keep that gap as minimal as he can, it's difficult to be effective as a defensive
Well, you know what?
guy.
Yeah, Trick, and you know what's exciting is, like you mentioned, let's give a lot of credit to Stewart as well. He stayed right in the pocket. He was really being rushed. Saw his receiver break and just laid in just a beautiful pass. He's getting better and better each week.
We can
14-13 in favor of the Box Elder Bees if you just joined us.
like I think I've done most every game, beating them to death with a stick. I want to give credit to that offensive line again. They marched down the field, and they had some penalties against them too, but they hung in there, and they played good again.
All right. Dr. Stewart saying need to hold that defense, and we're with him. This ball's going to stay in bounds. That ball stays in bounds, I think, and goes into the end zone.
Touchback.
So that's a touchback, so that's still a good kick. You don't want any run back, so that's a good kick.
Yeah, that's on the kickoff, that's a live ball. If that thing stays this side of the goal line, you know, anybody can pick that up, and it'll be their ball.
So now we'll see what the Bear River Bears do. I must admit, this is a very powerful offense, but they do look they look a little surprised that the Box Elder Bees are ahead in this football game. You can see it just a little bit, but they're very determined to prove that they're the #2 team in the state tonight. Box Elder Bees are trying to change that. That's a good defensive play. I think we got a holding call against the Bear River Bears. So they're going to go back this time.
Usually what we see, that interior line, the Bears' offensive line is a monstrous one for a high school team. And they're up against a quicker defensive line, and maybe one of the guys had to reach out and grab one of the Bees.
It's against Bear River, and so they're going to march them back. Let's give a lot of credit to the play calling of the last series of downs, because Box Elder just marched literally down the field. ball control, like you said. They have 8:31 left in the second period, and then finally scored on 14 plays. So that shows you how many plays it took them to go that many yards.
That was a great drive. We've seen the Bees. It seems like in the second quarter, I remember the Ogden game, didn't even throw a pass the entire second quarter. That offensive line just drove down the field.
Now this is where the Box Elder Bees have to be a little tough in that secondary and also watch Burnham, because I'm sure they're going to try to pick up some yardage.
Or something
No, they just try to run Burnham, and they stop him, and great gang tackling by the Box Elder Bees that time. And stopping, that was Burnham, I think, on the carry.
A little pitch to the tailback position. He broke over to the left side, and the Bees had it stacked up. I have a suspicion they're going to try to get him out wide on a little flare pass, give him some blockers out in front of him. Trying to play some kind of genie up here, see what they're going to decide to do, but I just can see him getting him out in the open field.
Trying to see where they marked the ball. I don't even see how many yards he picked up on that.
I think they got it on the 11-yard line, the 10 or 11. He might have just got back to the line scrimmage.
He might have picked up 1 yard if he was lucky. Good defense by the Bees. There's another handoff. Good defense. Coach Shane Quilling jumping up and down on every play. So proud of his defense right now, holding these strong and powerful Bear River Bears to very little yardage.
He's talked with Casey Roach out there, talking about the keys, the men they have to pick up. They have a guy that keys on Jason Burnham. The other inside linebacker will key on the fullback. And as the Bear River offense lines up different, those guys have to communicate and talk to see who's going to pick them up.
I don't think that the Bears picked up a yard on that. They got him right at the scrimmage line again. They're still on the 11. Back to pass. There's that little screen. You called it. Can the Bees read it? Oh, he's getting free, but he doesn't get to the first down marker. He's way short of that. So that's going to bring up a 4th down. Good defense by the Box Elder Bees on that play. They smelled it out, I think.
That was, and a good hard hit at the end of that play. If he had an injury last week, he might be feeling it again this week. He's a great athlete. I tell you, he gets outside.
Yeah, he is a great athlete, and he has great moves. But the Bear River Bears are going to punt.
You know, a lot of it, too, is it's a mental thing. The kid, he's done so well this season that he knows he's going to do well. And he just expects to get yards. Great player to watch.
There's the punt. Oh, it's a short kick. It's going to go off the side of his foot. Great field position for the Bees.
We see how the kicking game, again, specialty teams playing an important role for the Bees. They've had a great specialty teams this entire season. This is another game where we see field position benefiting the Bees, a return kickoff by the Bees. Those transitions are important for both teams.
Now, this is interesting because the Box Elder Bees last time went down in 14 plays with a 22-yard pass from Stuart to Berto Rodriguez for a touchdown. We'll see if they can play ball control right now with 6:46 left in the second. There's a handoff. And running and picking up a couple yards. It looks like Graves again, I think, on the right side.
Looks like the Bears' defense, looks like they're sandwiched in a little more. The defensive tackles or the nose guard pinching a little bit closer because of the Bees' success.
That's maybe where you want to go outside a little bit then, huh, Trek?
Now that the defense is starting to get that feel for going inside, this might be a good time to go take it outside again.
See what happens now, though. We'll see what the offense calls here. Stewart, he's got an opening. He could go all the way. He's got one man to beat. He's turning it on. And he got a touchdown. He goes into the end zone. Excuse me for getting excited, folks, but you got to get excited. This is the number 2 team in the state right now. Joe Stewart, what a beautiful run by Joe Stewart.
I tell you what, he pops outside. He turns it on. The man had an angle on him, but Joe just turned it on once he got around the corner, and he went right down the right sideline.
She's in our Trek. Very important extra point right now.
Yes, it is.
Very important. It can bring the score up to 21-13, which makes the Bear River Bears, if they score to tie the ball game, have to go for a 2-point conversion. So let's keep it right here and see what happens. Beautiful run by Joe Stewart on that touchdown run. It's up. Oh, and he misses it. Goes off to the left. That's important.
We got a penalty thrown into the interior line. I don't know what that is.
Penalty call. We'll see if it's on the Bears. It may go back.
They're calling
they
the
may get another chance
back. I don't know what they're going to do.
It may be against the Bear River Bears, so the Box Elder Bees may have a chance to kick this one again. How many yards did Stewart run that touchdown?
He would have had to have gone about 43 yards from where the ball was spotted on the kick and the little plunge forward by Graves.
It's holding against Bear River, so the Box Elder Bees now have a little, well, does it go halfway to the goal?
Yeah.
I guess they could go for 2, but I guess they're going to go ahead and take the sure one if they can get it.
Say Scott Roach, the first PAT he kicked, he could have put that thing in from 50 yards. He launched that thing.
Well, we'll see what happens. He's got to keep his, it looks like he pulled his head up just a little on that first one. He's going to have a second chance. Oh, this one, there's no doubt about it. He clears it about 30 yards that time.
Yeah, there you go.
He wanted to make sure everybody knew he could kick an extra point.
Don't give him a second chance. He put that thing right down. That's a great kick.
So what a turnaround of events tonight with the Box Elder Bees up by 8 points, 21-13 in the second period with 6:07 left. This is where the Bees have to tighten up even more defensively because you know now the Bears are going to pull out of the playbook every trick they have.
They're not in this spot too often. Bear River hasn't had to come back like this. We've talked about Box Elder being tough in the second quarter. Coming out a little flat sometimes in the second half. It'll be interesting to see how Coach Roesler keeps this momentum, this emotion going through the game.
Well, you know, one of the things I may do is keep kicking a squibbler so you can get down there and cover on the kickoff return and try to keep the ball out of the hands of those kickoff men because they got great speed. We'll see what happens, though. He kicks it very, very deep. They run into each other and fumble. Can the Bees stop him, though? Oh, great defense again by the Bees and great gang tackling. There must be 5 guys on the tackle.
They're really fired up. All the kick coverage was well past the 25-yard line when the guy met him. So that was great coverage by them. They got down the field quickly.
Well, we're in for a football game tonight, folks. Don't turn that channel tonight now.
See if the Bears' offensive line, that big offensive line for them, they've done a great job all year. See how they respond to this little added pressure being deep in their own field position.
Well, I think you're going to see the quarterback Woodworth throwing the ball more, I think. We'll see what happens, though. Well, I was right. He's going to throw. Little screen pass, and he drops it. And that's incomplete, so that's an incomplete pass. Well, as soon as I said it, he did it. I knew he was going to try to. You know, the Box Elder Bees, the one thing about them is they've always been a great, as far as the rush is concerned, a great defensive team on the rush.
A lot of teams, they scout the Bees, but they think they can run against that small defensive line. That's usually the characteristic scouting report is small defensive line, run against those kind of guys, but they fill the holes well.
Second down. There's again that run, but the Box Elder Bees again playing great defense. So it's a third down. Christiansen, if he was lucky, might have picked up...
They'll give about 3rd and 6 on that.
He might have picked up 4 yards, I think, on the... Well, let's see.
Looks like they're about splitting it in half, aren't they?
He picked up 6 yards, I think.
They've got a lot of field to work with over here on this left side. They've got a man split off to the right.
Box Elder Bees have to be careful now on this pass play. They try to hand it off again, and there's nothing there again. They stack them up. Box Elder Bees are fired up defensively. Shane Quilling jumping up and down. He's excited. All the coaching staff really applauding the defense tonight. And they do. They hold them.
That was a great stacking up job by the interior defense of the Bees, the linebackers. Russell Juber, Tom Siddell, and Casey Roach in there all piling up the offensive line.
Boy, the Box Elder Bees are really showing their defense tonight as well as their offense. Well balanced. They're going to have to punt, and they're coming in on the punter. It's fake. He's going to fake it. He's got a man wide open, and he overthrows him. So the Box Elder Bees will get the football. But they were lucky, though, because that man was wide open. But the quarterback that time, I think he rushed to his pass.
I think they did.
But that's still good defense because they were in on him.
I think he was so surprised how open he saw a guy, and he just wanted to get rid of it. It looked like Tom Birchtold was going to completely destroy that guy coming down the middle. The guy wasn't even looking at him. Tom could have put him into a different different world with the
This
hits.
is where the Bees, Trek, need to take advantage, though, with 4:07 left in the first half. Oh, they got that side open again. And they can't bring him down. Who was that with the ball? Was that Stewart again?
Joe just hung on to it.
Stewart is having a field day. This is his best ball game by far this year.
Playing really well. They strung it out really well, but he still marched down the field.
Well, you know, we mentioned that they've gone in very tight to stop that up the middle. And now, like you said, they're going a little bit around the end, and they're really picking up great yardage. I think he picked up a first down on that, did he?
They're in first and goal here from about the 9.
Stewart, second down. 9 to go. Just a quarterback keeper. And he's still going. Picks up maybe a couple yards if he's lucky. That's a good play, though.
It really
Soften up that defense a little bit.
This is another, this is a big,
He picked up 5 yards, I think, maybe.
this is a big point right now for the Box Star offense. If they jam it right in here, that gives them a substantial lead going into the halftime if they can hold them.
Stewart picked up 5 yards on that carry. Didn't look like much.
Berto.
There's a touchdown, Berto Rodriguez. What a surprise tonight. The Boxville, the Bees are dominating this football game right now. The Bear River Bears are shocked, to say the least.
They really are. That offensive line, I just love those guys. I love watching them. They just fire off. They give that offense great blocking so those running backs can get going. It was a great run by Berto. Good read by Joe. Joe could have kept it and followed him, but he gave it to Berto. Good read there.
Well, I mentioned before this football game, my goodness, he's not going to have any more doubt about those extra points, Trek. You know that Mike Roski and the Bear River Bears are totally surprised tonight. I think they came in this game just a little overconfident. I think they're very surprised because they didn't know how good Box Elder was. Nobody did.
I think they're a little surprised by it, but when you see a bunch of young men getting so fired up emotionally, they can put something together. They're a good unit. They've got a good coaching staff that puts together a great plan for them for each game. And as you said earlier, Joe, the Bears might have been looking forward to the big game with Mountain Crest. Right now, they've got more than a half of a football game to play here.
They've got a half of a football game, but I think the Box Elder Bees, and let's give credit to the coaching staff, and especially to the defensive coach, Shane Quilling, has scouted this team very well.
He really has, and we see that defense settle down again after the first few drives. They settle down, they come together, and they're great teamwork in there.
There's another big kickoff this time, but catching it and taking it, looking for a lane, and he doesn't get it, but good yardage that time. They will get fairly good field position in comparison to what they had last time.
Looks like they're going to start off, about the 33-yard line. They get a little better field position than their last two drives. We'll see if that Bees defense can keep them from giving up the big play right here.
I cannot believe how open Berto Rodriguez was on that running play. They're just having such a success. As you said, that blocking has been outstanding all year long, but every week it gets better and better and better. There's a handoff, picking those holes.
I'm really impressed.
He moves extremely well, very laterally extremely well. That's that running back, tailback.
Old LeGrand Woodsworth, he's really good on the play fakes. They bring Burnham there in motion, a lot of the defense keying on him. They see Chris Jansen come up the middle on that. He gained about 5 yards on the carry.
Let's give credit to Burke Hollingsworth in on the tackle on that particular play. He's a little guy we mentioned, but he's got a lot of guts, a lot of determination in that young man. There's a handoff again. Oh, what a great defensive play that time. Who got that, Trek? Find out who made that play. Looks like getting off that's number 50. Is that Siddell?
We see Siddell in there.
That was Siddell.
Looks like Brian Muhlstein was over there, too. We see, you just mentioned Burke Hollingsworth. You see Burnham coming back around the other side. He stays home real well. If they would have handed the ball off to Burnham.
You got to remember that Burnham's 180 pounds, too, and Hollingsworth, what is he, 130 if he's lucky? Third down and 4 for the Bear River Bears. A little bit surprised so far. He's going to throw. He's got a man open right over the middle. And they pick up the first down. But that was a great play. Give a lot of credit to Woodworth and his tight end.
That's that
Number 34, Riley, I think's his name.
We've talked about that
Matt Riley, 84.
That little gap there in the middle behind the linebackers and in front of the defensive backs. It's been a sensitive spot for the Beast. If we get a lot of push by that defensive line, we'll see the receivers not having time to get down there. There's run to Burnham off to the right side.
You got to watch him, boy. He can really break it. They've got to keep that intensity and that tackling. They've got to try to have him either cough up the ball or hold him in there and string that out, because Burnham gets around the end. We've seen him. He's gone. He's 128 left in the second period of play.
They like setting him up there as a slot back. That way, when he comes in motion, he's gonna be full speed by the time he hits the line of scrimmage. He's moving. With that great eyesight, he can hit his hole going full speed. He'll always get a few yards for you.
That was about a 20-yard play before that one, that pass play. We didn't say how many yards that was. That was about a 20-yard pass play.
That was a good pass play.
That Woodworth had to Matt Riley. And that time, Burnham, I think, picked up 10 yards on that particular carry. I think what the Bees have to do right now is really dig in as deep as they can. If they give up a field goal, I think that would probably not hurt them very much. But they can't give up a touchdown here, I think, going into the half, because if anything, that would give psychologically the Bear River Bears more momentum, because they will get the ball back in the second half.
Exactly. I agree with you right there. It's the momentum's going to be the real key right at the end of this first half. Whichever happens, the momentum's going to be a big factor in the first few drives of the third quarter.
Well, we'll see what the Box Elder Bees do with the 1st and 10. He's going to pass. That's Woodworth. His man turned the wrong way. It's an interception. What a great interception by Matt Maddox. That was outstanding. He had to go and literally turn around. It looked like he almost made a 360 type of turn and caught the ball and had to stretch as far as he could stretch. Matt Maddox, interception.
That's a huge play right there. Just cradled that ball over his shoulder. He caught a little errant pass by the Bear River quarterback there. That's a big turnover against him.
Oh, that's a great turnover. With 1:12 left, the Bees can now just methodically just march down the field, maybe pick up the first down. There's Stewart.
So they just want him to hold on to it right now.
They just want to keep the football and run the clock out. I think that's a good move. Go into the locker room with this 28 to 13-point lead.
They really don't even need to get a first down unless the Bear defense starts.
Well, I don't know how many timeouts the Bear River Bears have. Do they have 2 more?
I know I think they've used 2 of them so far. I'm not sure. I'm just going off the top of my head.
So that was a 2-yard gain that time by Stewart on the keeper. They'll probably have him just keep the ball and run out that clock. No, it's going to be Graves. Graves picks up great yardage that time.
Well, that seals the end of the first half. As long as the Bees hold on to the ball, you got to be going in.
First down, he picked up 9 yards almost. The Box Elder Bees, if one thing that the Bear River Bears better do at halftime is figure out how to stop the Bees offense, especially the rushing game, because they haven't been able to do anything tonight against the, right now, against the Bees offense.
We've talked about that time of possession, too. That's going to be a huge factor in the second half.
There's another handoff and still moving. He's close to another first down. That's Graves. Boy, what a workhorse he's been tonight with 22 seconds left.
Watch Coach Roesler here fake it in the middle and go for a bomb here, see if he can get something at the end of the half. So this
will probably be the last play.
Go into the locker room leading by 15. The east.
What a boost.
East side of the stadium is awful quiet right now.
Stewart got a man open. It's Blanchard. Blanchard goes out of bounds. There's 1 second left, and the time runs out.
Looks like they got a late hit on him, too.
Of course, it can't end in a penalty. They'll mark off the penalty, and then the Bees will have one more play. The half cannot end on a penalty, though. If there's been a penalty, there'll be one more play.
Looked like somebody threw something down the sideline.
They're saying the time ran out then. Bear River Bears are excited about it.
If that's a defensive penalty, though, that's not the end of the first half.
If it's a defensive penalty, the half cannot end on a defensive penalty.
They'll have to play one more play if that's a late hit over there.
That gives Stewart a chance to maybe pick up one more touchdown here because had a man wide open. Dr. Stewart saying maybe a field goal attempt. He's got a great leg. That wouldn't be a bad idea for another 3 points. That'd be 31-13.
I'd almost be willing to let Joe hold it on that and fake it. Fake kick it.
You know, you don't have too much to lose with right here with not much time left because that's going to march the ball down on a late hit another 15 yards.
I think I'm too much in the playground football, though, where you can just kind of horse around, draw whatever plays you want, so. I don't know if this is serious.
You haven't played for a while, have you?
Yeah. I don't get into too many serious games now.
Well, what a surprising evening so far, ladies and gentlemen, with the Box Elder Bees leading 28-13. Not too surprising to me, because I had a feeling before the game we talked about it, I thought the Bear River Bears might overlook the Box Elder Bees and think more about Mountain Crest tonight.
I think you're exactly right, too. I think they're just going to let it be the first half.
Well, that doesn't make sense because there was a penalty.
Oh.
This is wrong. I don't agree with this. Let's see what he explains to Coach Wes Roesler. I don't think that's the right call.
Well,
there was 1 second left on the clock when the penalty occurred.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Quilling, though, he nodded his head, didn't really mind, so apparently it was no big deal.
Well, maybe it was an inadvertent flag, but I thought he threw a penalty flag.
Hey, you'd think it wouldn't take that much time.
Well, nevertheless, that'll be the end of the first half of the Box Elder Bees ahead in this ball game right now with 1 half to play. 28 for the Bees, 13 for the Bears. We'll be back for the first half statistics after this. Do this for the mediocre teams. Let's say with the next year, he's the coach.
What does that sign say out there?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with just about 5 minutes left. With about 5 minutes left to go in the second half. Before we start the second half, let's go over some of our statistics. And Trek, let's look at these together. Box Elder, and these are unofficial. We're trying to keep these as we watch the football game, and that's not easy, folks. So we're going to see what happens in the second half. The score right now, if you've just joined, is 28 for the Box Elder Bees and 13 for the Bear River Bears. Now, in the first half, Box Elder, we have them unofficially rushing for 155 yards. And Joe Stewart went 2 for 5 in the passing department with 1 touchdown pass. For the Bear River Bears, we have them for 176 yards rushing. But we have to remember that a lot of that came from Burnham's 70-yard run. If you take that away, then pretty much they have about 106 yards, which is pretty, I think, pretty reasonable when you think about the kind of explosive offense the Bears have, Track.
Yeah, especially that run-oriented offense. If you can hold it to 100 yards, it's really not too bad.
Now, if we're looking on the other side, 2 for 5 in the passing department for the quarterback, LeGrand Woodworth. It looked like the Bear River Bears were going to pick apart that B secondary, but all of a sudden, the Box Elder Bees have started putting a rush on Woodworth, and then that interception by Maddox was a great interception at a critical moment in the game. So he's 2 for 5, like we said, with 1 interception and also 1 touchdown pass. Now, as far as scoring is concerned, Joe Stewart, on his end, we have let's go first of all, Matt Maddox. After the Box Elder Bees had 2 plays and then they fumbled, the ball was turned back over to the Bears. The Bears ran 6 plays, and then there was a touchdown pass from Woodworth to, we still have his name, Nelson, we thought it was, Nelson, for 24 yards. Then the Bees got the ball back on the kickoff return. Maddox ran the ball all the way back for 85 yards, and of course that tied the ball game right there. And then the Bears had the ball 3 downs, and then there was a 70-yard touchdown run by Burnham. And then after that, the Bees then took the ball 7 plays and had to punt. Then the Bears got the ball back and went 4 plays and had to punt. It seemed like the defenses were toughening up just a little bit there. But then the Box Elder Bees had the ball again on the next series of downs, went 14 plays, finally 22-yard pass from Stewart to Berto Rodriguez for the touchdown, and the extra point was good. So then we look at the Bears. They got the ball 5 plays, and they punted. Box Elder took the ball 3 plays, and then a 43-yard touchdown run by Stewart. Extra point again was good. Then the Bears got the ball again. They went 4 plays, tried a fake this time. It was no good. Ball went back over to the Bees. 3 plays, 6-yard touchdown pass. Berto Rodriguez in the end zone scores 28-13. Went back to the Bears. They were marching down the field on the 5th play. Woodworth threw the interception. Maddox, wasn't that a great interception?
That was, cradling the ball over his shoulder. That's a tough pass catch, especially at the angle that he was running. He was running. He had to catch it kind of going the opposite way.
So that was 5 plays, throw the interception. Then the Box Elder Bees, it looked like they were going to just run out the clock. They were deep in their own territory, and Stewart just started marching down the field on the Bear River Bears, and time ran out, and they were probably on about the 48-yard line of the Bear River Bears. But a couple people mentioned a couple things, Trek, and I think this is very important to remember tonight. And that's the fact that this score is 28-13. With the explosive offense of the Bear River Bears, and I'm sure that in that dressing room, things were not quiet. That's going to be probably not enough points to beat the Bear River Bears tonight. Now, we'll see, but we know what kind of offense the Bears have.
I think a lot of it, too. We talked about them overlooking Box Elder and looking forward to Mountain Crest. Well, I guarantee they're not going to be looking past Box Elder right now. They realize they're 15 points down against a time-consuming offense that the Box Elder Bees have, and they're in dogfight right now. They've got to come out. They've got to make some big plays. And as we were talking during the halftime, turnovers in this second half could be very, very critical for Box Elder. They need to hold on to the ball.
Trek, if you look at something, you talked about looking over a team. Let's talk about that. We've got some time here as we wait for the kickoff. The reason that teams look over another team, people, is not the fact of, obviously, that they think that this team should not be in the region or they shouldn't be on the football field. It's just the fact when you scout a team and you look at their talent that they have versus your talent, supposedly, and you look at, obviously, the win and loss record, you look at, supposedly, they have a brand-new coach. They're going into a brand-new system. They did not run the veer before. You're thinking as a coach, you're telling your team, you know, guys, this is going to be a pretty tough football game, but I think we can take these guys. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have a team here that is probably improving each game. You and I can see that. Bear River can't see that. We have watched this team from the beginning. It's almost like watching babies grow up to be adults, because we've watched this team grow every game. And against Ben Lomond, I think, is where we saw them start to peak.
Yeah, and they started to move into that upper division of the region, where they showed that they could come out, they could play a good, hard game, and go away with a fairly substantial win last week. A 29-6 win that's a big score in a high school contest. The thing that I want to watch in the second half is we've seen the Box Elder team at times become complacent in the second half. A little bit of letdown in momentum. This is a perfect opportunity to overcome that. They're against their cross-county rivals. This is a time when you have a team down, you put them out early, and you make it a really big statement for the juniors. Hey, we're coming here and we beat them hard, and you do it early. You do it right off the bat. Don't want to give this Bear River team any momentum.
Well, and I think the thing about it is there's been so much hype on Burnham, and I mentioned this a little bit in the pregame show. I do not think that you can win a football game with just one player. And so far, the other players have been doing fairly well, of course, but they have relied so much on Burnham that the thing I think about is if Burnham is injured or partially injured, what do you do with the rest of your football team? I don't know if you can depend that much on one back.
Yeah, and they start saying, oh, he's not getting the job done. What are the rest of us going to do? And, not taking anything away from Jared Burnham, but
he's a great athlete.
He's a great athlete. But that Box Elder defense is playing awful well tonight. Is pursuing the ball and getting out and team tackling. I think they're doing really well. This This penalty at the end of the first half has really perplexed me. I've never seen a call like this. I'm not very up on the rules, it must be. Because I would have thought they would have assessed that at the end of the first half, but apparently...
Well, it must have, I don't know, we'll have to check the ruling on it. What happened is, as I understand it, it must have happened as the clock expired, and which means that there was not another play, and then they assessed it on the kickoff. That's the only thing I could think of. If there would have been time on the clock, because I think it went out of bounds is what happened.
And that's the thing, if he went out of bounds with 1 second on the clock, then something's wrong.
They're saying he didn't. They're saying the clock went to 0. That's what they're saying. All right.
I can understand that. That'd be like if at the middle of halftime somebody popped off.
Exactly.
Okay, I can understand that.
All right, well, we'll see what happens now. 28-13, and you're in for a great second half. Stay tuned right here. This is the Inside Cablevision, Channel 36. Joe Bates will Trek Lions, Bruce Smith, videographer, coming to you from Ferguson Field. And since that penalty was assessed on the kickoff, the Box Elder Bees should knock this right into the end zone and start the Bears off on the 20. It's going to go deep into the end zone. He kicks it out of the end zone. 1st and 10 for the Bear River Bears. Now, let's see what kind of offense we see coming out this time. What kind of things do you think you're going to see as far as changes are concerned, Trek?
Well, we talked about at the end of the first half, them opening up, going into a passing game. I think they're going to start off. They're going to try to get the ball into Burnham's hands. They realize they've got plenty of time to come back into this game. I don't know that we're going to see a whole lot of huge changes right off the bat here.
Well, I think one of the things we may see is just a few little short passes, try to isolate Burnham just a little bit. We'll see, though. There's a handoff. Burnham. There he goes, outside. And he picks up big yardage right there, and he still is going. Boy, they came out with a little bit of more intensity. You can see that.
Yeah, I think Bear River players, they snapped up their chin straps, and they're coming out. They were hitting hard on that.
Boy, they're coming out to play some football now. The Box Elder Bees just have to kind of suck it up and say, hey, we can play with you guys and do it. Because it looks to me like Burnham has a mission right now.
Looks like a penalty, a late hit or something.
Oh, it's a late hit against the Bees, and there goes another penalty.
That's kind of difficult, too. The running back kept running, and a lot of times backs will go down, but if they keep running, the defense doesn't really know that. And Burnham, you know, always going for a second effort, kept moving forward. I don't know if that was a call or not, but that happens quite often with a back like that.
Box Elder Bees do not need the Bears to score right now. There's a little counter-type play.
A little inside reverse. They brought that guy lined up over here on the left side on the line. He just peeled around, followed a couple pulling guards, and the backs that led coverage over there.
Bear River Bears look like somebody slapped them in the locker room.
We'll see if that Box Elder defense gets going early right now. I see Tom Siddell encouraging his teammates to get the thing going right now in the second half so they can get up.
This is what the Bees have to do, is try to find some way to get a turnover here so they can get that momentum back and stop the Bears. There's a handoff right up the middle. Bees try to stack it up, but Burnham, boy, he was running hard.
Good first down, or second down run to get the first down by Jared Burnham. Right up the middle. You don't see that too often against that Box Elder defense, that right up the gut.
He picked up about 5-6 yards on that carry. Easy. Well, it's like you said, the Bear River Bears, Mike Roski must have said something in that locker room that snapped them up. There's a handoff. They're missing tackles. Finally, they get him. That's a great tackle that time.
And there again, we see that Box Elder defense swarming on him on a first down. That's what it looked like in the first half. That first initial drive that we've been seeing didn't look like the same defense out there, but that play really looked like them, and maybe the same outcome's going to come of this.
Well, we'll see what happens. Right now, the Box Elder Bees, that, like you said, Tom Siddell was trying to fire them up, and we'll see if he did. 10-10, a lot of time remaining in this football game. We'll put a man in motion this time. There's that reverse. They look at the quarterback. He could get him. He throws on the run. Incomplete. Great play by number 68 for the Box Elder Bees.
Brian Mulestein getting outside. Kept just enough containment to force that pass a little bit early, and the momentum of Woodworth going to his right carried the ball out of bounds.
And give Woodworth a lot of credit that time because he knew that if he was going to be sacked back there, he was going to lose a lot of yardage, so he just let that fly out of bounds.
I think he was a little mad that he got caught. It looked like he kind of popped up with a little bit of energy in him.
3rd down and 10. Box Elder Bees now trying to tighten up, stiffen up that defense. There's that same play again, that little counter. The Bees, oh, what a beautiful tackle.
Casey Roach.
That is Casey Roach. Boy, did he read that beautifully.
A lot of the play we didn't see was Brian Mulestein strung it out, had him cut inside of him, slowed him up for a hesitation, and Casey Roach with a fantastic play by a linebacker. Went right along the line.
You see the way he wrapped him up too, Trek? Boy, he takes down a big guy just like that, and they're going to punt the football.
That's an all-state play right there by Casey Roach.
There's the punt. Going to kick it in that little coffin corner. Boy, that's a nice kick, and it rolls out of bounds. That's a great kick.
They're about the 5-yard. That was a super kick.
That might be on the 2-yard line. That's really close. Depends on where they mark it. I think it's on the 2. No, I think you're on the 5. We're on the 5. 5-yard line.
Now, that was a good kick. I don't know if he intended that way. All of his kicks have been that way tonight, but it sure paid off to get away with one.
It looked to me like he was trying to kind of pooch that one in the corner. I think that was deliberate. Some of the other ones weren't.
He sure kicked it away from Matt Maddox. We've seen what.
Well, we'll see what happens with the Bees ahead. Great defensive stand on that particular series of downs. Joe Stewart is the quarterback. They send that man in motion. There's a handoff. Not much there. Maybe a couple of yards. It doesn't look like that free safety is moving with that man in motion every time.
I didn't see him go on him that time, but it
like the strong safety's moving with
We talked about that. The strong safety will always line up on the strong side, whichever the slot back comes on. They start sending the flaker in motion. That causes a big gap in the defensive secondary of the Bears.
Interesting. 2 yards on about the 7. Joe Stewart, the quarterback, just trying to get some running room here. There's another handoff. Not much there. Boy, they're starting to read that out, but there's not much field position right now for the Box Elder Bees. They really need to try to get that first down if they can come up with a play.
This is a big down right here. Bear River's got them pushed way back in their own territory. Again, we see the play coming in a little late.
Yeah, they're really, they pushed that time limit almost right to the second. You see usually the ref starts counting off just as Stewart is ready to bark signals almost.
A trap play over to this right side.
Well, not much there.
A good lunge by Berto. That was a great
think he's a little
effort.
short, though.
That was a fantastic second effort. He was caught way behind the yard marker, but a good effort there. I think
Oh, he made the first down. Boy, called that one too soon. He lunged. You're right, Trek. He picked it up.
that was a fantastic play. I tell you what, these guys play with a lot of heart out there. You see Steve Graves always fighting for a second effort. You see Joe Stewart doing that and Berto on that one. Fantastic play.
So that time, Berto Rodriguez with second effort, and that's what it takes to win a football game. A lot of heart, determination, as well as athleticism. These are showing that tonight.
This is definitely what the Bear River coaching staff doesn't want to see. That big offensive line of Box Elder just slowly taking the ball down the field. This is definitely what they don't want to see.
Pretty good yardage again on that particular play, though. The Bees mixing it up, going to the left, then going to the right, going up the middle. 6 yards on that particular carry. Joe Stewart methodically bringing his team down the field. Putting that man in motion again.
It doesn't look, they don't send the free safety.
The song safety goes with it. There's Stewart. Again, he needs a block. And he turns it upfield. Good run by Stewart, though. He's got the first down, it looks like. Boy, Stewart has found something, hasn't he, tonight in that defense of the Bears?
He really has. He cuts upfield at the right time, making good breaks on the defensive structures. They come, their coverage coming over. He makes good breaks to cut inside for a few more yards.
Stewart goes all the way up to the 38-yard line, so he picked up a lot on that particular play. That's the Graves, it looks like, on the carry.
Said the Veer offense, where you place the ball into the man's gut and you take it back out if he's getting tackled. a lot of times can be risky, but these guys have been running this all year, and as you talked about, Joe, they're just getting better and better with each game.
They really are.
And another big gain on that first down play. That big gain's really helping them.
Stewart looking. He's got a man wide open, but a little bit underthrown that time. That was intended for Blanchard. That falls incomplete.
That's still a good play to stretch out their defense a little bit with them running so much. They might stretch out the line.
That was a great call, I think. It was just Joe Stewart that time allowed those linemen to come in on him just a little bit low on that pass, and so it's a 3rd down and 5 on the 44-yard line.
Another big play here for the Bees.
Big play. They strung that one out. I think that's going to come up short, I think.
A good defense by the Bears there. They strung that one out and came up and sealed him before he got to the yard marker. Good defense.
Yeah, he picked up
about
only 3 yards, I think, on that, but he is shy, and so that will turn. But at least this is a much better place to punt the football from than where they were. So they were coming in on Stewart, but he gets it out. It's a nice punt. They're going to let it go. Box elder bounce again.
On the 16-yard line, they've got him pinned down again.
Is that on the 11?
Yeah, it is. It's on the 11. I said the 16, but
yeah,
5 yards.
On the 11-yard line.
Now we'll see that first series, Bear River didn't change up a whole lot. We'll see as the game continues to see if they'll get a little panicky here.
Of course, the one thing to remember is the Box Elder Bees with that Bear offense ate up a lot of clock on that series that time. That was 7 plays, and they ate up about 4 or 5 minutes. They're really relying a lot on Burnham, and he is really trying to stick that helmet in there tonight.
He really is. He just kind of slithered through the hole there, dodged through a couple running defenders for the Bees. He got forward for about 6 yards in there, 6, 7 yards. It looks like they're giving him
picked up 6 yards. The ball's on the 17 now. He is a great athlete. It's just the Box Elder Bees have really gang-tankled well tonight, and so we'll see if that continues. They don't want to let him on the outside. That's the thing they have to do is contain him, string him out. Oh, another beautiful tackle in there. He lost a yard or two, maybe. Who made that tackle?
It looked like a whole defensive line got in underneath him.
Somebody got in there first. Is that Roach again?
It sure could have been. It looked like that interior defense.
It was hard to tell who made that tackle, but it was a great tackle. I think he might have lost a yard.
We'll see if the Bears put the ball up in the air right here.
I think they might have to. I think they're going to be forced to that just a little bit. The Box Elder Bees have to be tough down that secondary. It's going to be tested. Oh, the man was wide open, and he keeps going. They got to knock him out of bounds. Finally, they do. That was a good call. That's Riley. He's dangerous.
That was they send the wide receiver out, just run a straight seam pattern, brought the tight end coming out on a little out pattern, didn't get jammed off the line of scrimmage, and he was free to run right off the line of scrimmage.
Nobody bumped him, Frank. That's the thing I noticed.
A lot of times they jam that tight end coming off the line. That outside linebacker jammed him, slows up his
momentum
pattern coming down the field.
Well, that was about a 31-yard pass play to Riley. There's a fake.
Plenty of time.
He's going to go long. He's got a lot of time. Finally, he's being rushed. He throws it in the ground, but it falls incomplete. Boy, let's give credit to the secondary. They had every man covered, I think.
They did. They were out there, and I think they got a little too deep. But Woodworth, I don't know if he wanted to lay it up that far deep, and so he tried to go underneath to a little flare pattern out there and just short-hopped it to him.
The offensive line for the Bears did their job that time. He just had no one to throw to.
Did a great job.
2nd down and 10. Woodworth doing a nice job. There's that handoff. Read well by the Bees, though. Good defense. Again, 2 or 3 men on the tackle. 58 getting up off the play, it looks like.
Yep. Another big 3rd down play. You can tell what these games do to me. I'm already standing up.
I see you. You're standing up. I can't. I got to keep writing.
I'm getting
So I
worse
think he
every
picked
game.
up 2 yards there. So Bear River's going to have to throw the football now. I think they may go back to that same flare pass. I guess it's called a flare.
They got plenty of room off there to the right side, and I think they're going to draw the coverage deep and throw underneath again.
That's what they're going to do.
Right
They
underneath.
got the man right there.
Stopped him short of the
He
first
did
down.
not make the first down, but I think they may go for it
I
anyway.
think they will, because they're only short
But
a
he's
yard.
short of that first down by a yard.
That's that little underneath pattern. They send the receivers back to take the coverage back, then they just slip it underneath.
Well, you've got to go for it here with down 28-13, 2:58 left in the third period of play. You have to go for it.
This is a huge play. You'll see if they'll give it to the
Well, I'm
halfback.
sure they'll give it to Burnham, and he'll just pick up the yardage. I don't see how you can stop Burnham from 1 yard. I'd be surprised if they did. They don't. Well, I don't know. They might have.
They stacked him
They
up.
might have stacked him up.
They turned him back. That's a
They turned
huge
him
play.
back. That is a great play. Let's give credit. It looks like a lot of people were in on that play.
Oh.
Number 40 was in on that.
That's fantastic defense.
I
That
think
kind of-
I think Hollingsworth was in on that play. He might have been around the ankle. He's getting a lot of hugs from the coaches. He might have been in on that.
that kind of play, that really makes the team right there. That's a huge play. This is the second-ranked team in the state, and you stop them on a 4th and run against one of the state's perennial running backs. That's tough.
Now we'll see what the Bees can do. There it is, wide open. That's Graves. What a great run by Graves.
Those are a couple of huge plays right
There's
there.
a Bear River player down. Graves, what do you pick on that? About
He got about
13, 14
yeah,
yards?
You're right, 13 or 14 yards. Just a straight handoff right up the middle.
You could see a little bit that the defense was bothered by the lack of the offense picking that first down up. You could see that when they came out, that play might pop for that.
And you called it, Joe, earlier when you said if you can stop Burnham, it takes a lot of air out of the balloon of the Bears, and that was shown right there. That was a huge defensive play there.
We do have a player down in the field, Trek. I don't know if we can get that number to find out what player that is.
I guarantee that's one of their defensive linemen. He's a big old guy out there.
Yeah, he's a big man.
Looks like 57. That
67.
look, if it's 57, that's Tyler Pella, the nose guard. He's 5'9", 207 pounds. Sure hope he's all right.
57.
Looks like he's getting up. They are helping him off field. It looks like an ankle or a knee, maybe.
Yeah, that's sad to see. I sure hope it's nothing serious.
The Box Elder Bees, what a big play on that last defensive play by the Bees to stop Burnham for that first down. And boy, he was driving, but they stacked him up. Stewart, first down and 10. Kind of a common sight tonight, first down and 10. And with this time, Graves tries to pick it up. That's good defense by the Bears. He might have picked up maybe a yard or two if he's lucky.
Yeah, they strung that one, and Steve Graves again. These guys have been taught. I think a lot of this is to the coaching staff. Each time these guys get hit, they hit back, and they keep fighting and struggling for more yardage. And I think that's a great job by Coach Roesler's coaching staff.
Well, that just shows the scouting report. You got to do your homework, and they have done their homework, I'll tell you. I've been at that coaches meeting, and a lot of compliments to the coaches, accolades, all of them. Stewart looking. Oh, almost intercepted. Boy, that was close. I think Stewart was trying to throw to Shaw, but two men were covering Shaw on that play.
A lot of coverage, great pass coverage by the Bears. Stewart maybe hurried the throw a little bit, didn't have a whole lot of time, but that was a tough pass to thread in between the Bear defenders.
This is another big first down. I hate to say that every time. A minute 32 left. They've stopped the momentum of the Bears. I think they have to continue now and pick up this first down to keep the Bears off the field in good field position.
I think they'll give it a little short run here.
Did he draw him? Right over the middle. Intercepted. What I was afraid of. And
not so much for field position, but just the momentum of giving the ball up. That's I said it at the start of the half. turnovers could be very critical here for the Bees. They've got to keep their composure, and that's a super play by the free safety. He read that little slant pattern perfectly and stepped right in front of the receiver.
So there's an interception.
And that's another scouting job. Boxer runs that pattern quite often, and the Bear River defense knew it when they saw it.
The Bears dig in offensively again with the 1:04 left. They're going to throw it up again. He could be, oh, they missed him. Donnie, they throw wide open. Well, when the quarterback has that much time, you know his receiver's going to find a way to get open.
Yeah, they good pass rush in there, but just didn't hit and wrap up on Brian Mulestein. Got a good rush on him. Good play by the Bear River quarterback, Woodworth. He stepped up and fired the ball.
What was that, about 14-yard pass play?
Yeah.
Box Elder Bees, 41 seconds left, trying to hold, of course, the Bears out of the end zone. There you go. There's that defense coming up again. Now it's Burnham again.
It's tough on that. We would like to see Boxer just continue to play the way they did in the first half. Just go for the kill, not try to run the timeout. You've been beating them 28-13 the whole game. Just bury them.
Yeah, I think you want to try to keep that ball on the ground and keep picking up those 3 and 4 yards when you have that offense. Maybe try to keep it out of the air unless you have to on a third down. That's what I would say.
Yep.
There's Burnham again. Oh, what a beautiful tackle again in there. That's Casey Roach.
I tell you what, that
He's
is
an
an
outstanding
all-state
football
linebacker
player.
right there. That kid is playing a heck of a ball game.
And that's the end of the third period of play with the Box Elder Bees still leading in this football game, 28-13. We'll be back for the fourth and final period after this. We're back for the fourth and final period. Joe Batesville Trek Lions here at Ferguson Field with a very anxious press box here with Dr. Stewart right here at my side watching this football game. It's kind of a, I hate to say it's a nail-biter, but you feel that the Bear River Bears are going to explode any minute, and everybody's on the edge because you feel like if Burnham breaks one of those tackles, he's going to go for a touchdown.
He is. He's such an explosive ball player.
So far, the Box Elder Bees have been able to sustain Burnham, and Casey Roach is doing the job. He's going to throw the ball up.
A screen.
There's that little screen. He's setting up to Burnham.
Read that.
Tom Siddell read it. And Tom Siddell makes a shoestring tackle. Give credit to Siddell on that play.
That was a great play of staying home. Tom Siddell recognized the offensive lineman, pulling up to pass block, then floating out to the right side, and read that screen really well. And a great shoestring tackle on a tough running back. Burnham almost broke that. Another big play by the Boxer defense. Here's another fourth down. They got him about 8 yards to go.
Well, you know that obviously this is probably one of the biggest plays of the game right now for the Bear River Bears.
This could be a backbreaker here if they can stop him.
Box Elder Bees have to stop this play to keep him out of the end zone. It's a little trick play. Oh, he's going to be sacked. What a beautiful play.
He wrapped him up.
But give credit to more than just that defensive player because they strung that play out. And credit to the secondary. Number 50, Tom Siddell, had the sack.
Really did. That was a super play by the defense in there. Bert Hollingsworth flushed him forward in the pocket to where Gailey and Siddell could get hold of him, and they got him on that. Great defensive coverage again by the Bees.
43-yard line for the Bees. First and 10. They just got to keep it on the ground. That's all. Let run the time off the clock. March it down the field and run the time off the clock. There's a penalty.
Hold.
That's too bad, too, because he picked up great yardage, but they're going to call that one back, a legal procedure. The bad thing about a penalty is it stops the clock.
Yeah. And a lot of it, too, if you're Box Elder, if they can just keep that mental attitude of beating the team. Don't even worry about where you are in the game. Just keep beating them. They beat them the whole game.
Illegal procedure or shift, I guess they call it. I really think they need to keep the ball on the ground and grind it out, pick up those 3 and 4 yards, and then pass on third down if they have to. That's what would be my game plan because you've got the clock on your side. You don't want to put up another interception.
Yeah, there's no sense risking that turnover. Especially right now, they turn the ball over into good field position for Bear River. This puts the Bear offense in a tough spot here. First as well, it puts any offense in a tough spot, but particularly a running offense.
So it's still a first down and 15, so you can still run a lot of time off the clock and pick up yardage as you do so. There's Stewart, keep the ball.
Good fake.
Good fake. He picks up good yardage, tries to get back to that line, almost the penalty spot, so he picks up almost 5 yards on the carry.
He's a good deceptive runner, too. Makes a lot of initial defenders miss him, and he gets past the first guy that gets their hands on him.
You know, if he wasn't such a good quarterback, imagine what kind of running back he'd be.
He would. He's a perfect quick feet for that Bear offense. Smart, bright kid.
Second down and 11. Stewart's going to keep it again. Tries to get some blockers out in front of him. Not much there. Now you probably have to put it up. Third down.
You see where they're at. They've got plenty of room going off to that right side. I don't know if they're going to pass or if they'll run it again.
Well, Stewart still picks up another 10 yards, I think. So that's still not enough, though. Looks like they're about 5 yards short. Is that about right?
I think that's about right. They're about 5-6 yards short. Got a lot of room on that right side. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, I might throw a short pass over the middle, but I think you have to pick up that. Well, or not. They're just going to keep it on the ground. That's probably a good play, though. That still eats up clock.
If you can punt it now, pin them back in their own territory. Relying a lot on that tough defense, but this is what makes the team tough, is when they can keep coming back after each challenge that's put before them. They're coming for it.
They're coming for the block. Joe's got to get rid of it. He does. It's high. A lot of time to get. He dropped it. It's a fumble. Box Elder has it.
They got it.
Box Elder has it. He called for a fair catch. He missed the football, and boy, the breaks are going for the Bees, but they're making their own breaks tonight.
And you got to give credit again to the high arcing punt of Joe Stewart. Cole Beecher was down there. Cole Beecher could have caught that ball. He had plenty of time to get down there. And the Bear River guy felt a little heat right in front of him.
Well, let's give credit to Joe Stewart for putting that up in the air like that, because that's hard. That's a hard punt to field, especially with these lights in your eyes. So a lot of credit to Joe Stewart. That high spiral.
He got it off quick, too. The Bears looked like they were coming for him.
This is the time to pop a big one. There's Stewart. He needs one man to beat. He needs a block. He got one block. He's close to the touchdown.
About the 2-yard line.
He might be on the 2-yard line.
He got about 5 extra yards because he set that block up by Adam Smoot. He just shadowed the man and just kept pushing him towards the goal line. That was a great run again.
21-yard run by Stewart. And let me tell you what, I think Stewart is having his best football game tonight.
And we talked about early in the season when he'd run past his blockers. Well, that was a good...
Waited for his blocker to set up for him. Oh, he fumbled in the back. No, I think the Bees got it back.
Joe picked it back up.
Boy, they always have one of those every game for some reason.
But remember what he did last week. Every time he'd have a fumble or some kind of difficulty, the next play he'd come back for a touchdown.
Problem is they lost some big yardage on that fumble, though. That brings it, well, they only lost about 2 yards, so it's about the 4-yard line, I think.
They punch it in here, and the Bears will have to get the ball at least 3 times.
Second down and goal. Box Elder needs to be patient here. Just don't get anxious. Stewart, yes, he's going to go. Well, he's there, yes. Second effort, Joe Stewart, touchdown.
The Bear River players are getting up slow right now. They know that they've met a tough team tonight. The Box Elder Bees were pumped up for this game. They've come out to play.
34-13. You know what? I think it's going to be exciting tomorrow to look at the newspaper, Trek.
It really will be. We've still got over 7.5 minutes left.
Dr. Stewart said it isn't over, but I'll tell you what, the fat lady's warming up. No good.
We've got the second-ranked team in the state, and they don't get that way by falling down and dying. And I tell you what, the next 7 minutes are going to be tough minutes for the Bees. They need to buckle down and go all the way right to the horn. Another great run by Stewart. We talked about when he drops the ball, he comes back on the next play, always makes a big play.
Well, the big thing about it now is we know that the Bear River Bears, Trek, they have to put the football in the air.
They really do.
I mean, you're not going to get back in the football game by trying to pick up 5 and 6 yards. Even if Burnham pops a big one, you can't afford to eat that clock up. So you know he's going to throw the football.
And we're going to see Jared Burnham in a lot of pass routes, going over the middle to get him outside, to get the ball in his hands while he's moving and get him going full speed.
And the secondary needs to play just as they've been playing for the last 2 ball games, and just play heads up, stay at home, and pick off one of those passes, and this ball game is over.
You know, I talked about Steve Gailey needing to take the offensive lineman out to eat. I think Joe Stewart needs to take him out to eat this week. They've done a fantastic job for him.
Well, I tell you what, I am so impressed with, Stewart reminds me a lot of that, and I'll tell you in just a minute my thought here.
Oh, got to the outside.
They got to the outside. Yeah, they got him, though. That's good defense.
Now, the kicker on that, Scott Roach, came up and made the tackle on that.
So Roach, the kicker, makes the tackle. They have a good field position. You know he's going to be airing it out every time, though. I was just going to say, Stewart reminds me a lot of the ex-quarterback for the Air Force Academy.
D. Dallas?
D. Dallas, exactly right.
He was tough.
Well, Stewart has those quick feet, and the other thing that he has, I think, is he has, for a small quarterback, he has a lot of strength.
Yeah, a tough kid going.
That was a second effort, got him into the end zone, I'll tell you that.
It looks like we've got an equipment timeout here. One of the helmets for the Bees is not right, and that's definitely one part of your equipment you want to be.
You know who's going to be surprised at the outcome of this game is Mountain Crest.
Yeah, they really will be.
But I think the Bear River Bears were looking towards Mountain Crest too soon.
Well, let's hope the next 7:34 still proves to be the same as the start of the game.
We'll see what happens. The Bear River Bears, of course, needing a touchdown right now. A lot of time. He's going to just pull it down and run it. That's good thinking by Woodworth. But I would give him that small real estate. Just don't give him the big one. Bill Morrell knocks him out of bounds.
They can keep him in bounds on that. I noticed the Boxcar defense really intently chucking the man at the line of scrimmage. Each of the receivers that came off for the Bears was chucked 2 or 3 times right on the line of scrimmage and really slowed up the pass pattern. Defensive line keeps containment on this. This would be a long series of downs for the Bear River quarterback.
Woodworth. He's looking again. He's rolling. Got a lot of time. He's being rushed now. Now he'll be sacked by Gailey, a senior from Colorado, a transfer student, and he gets a sack.
It's so important for that defensive line to keep the quarterback contained, not let him get to the outside, because that gives so much time for those receivers to make breaks on the defensive back.
You know, I'm going to have to give my defensive play of the game to the entire defensive team tonight. I'm serious. I've never seen such a balanced and the offense, have to go to the offensive team. This is absolutely a team effort tonight.
Fantastic team effort tonight. I keep saying, they still got 6 minutes to play. Long pass.
There's the pass. He's wide open. He drops it. Incomplete. I tell you what, though, Woodworth is running for his life on every play.
Hey,
those linemen are getting in there, and when they are, I think Woodworth feels the footsteps, and he's really hurrying those passes.
There really is a large cushion by the defensive backs there. You don't want to give up the big one. It's fortunate for them that the ball bounced off his hands.
Let's give credit to this secondary. They've improved so much since the beginning of the year. Matter of fact, I apologize. I probably picked on them a little bit, but they got better and better every game.
They've come along really well.
Woodworth back.
Get it out to Burnham out here.
Oh, almost intercepted, but Burnham does pick it up. I think he's short, though. I think he's short. Cunningham. Oh, there's a penalty against. It's against. I hope that's not roughing the passer. Or holding. I hope it's holding. Holding against the Bears. No, it's against the Bears. Rob Bishop, the PA announcer, getting a little excited.
I doubt that they'll take this one. I don't think they'll take this one.
Kind of interesting to see Rob get excited. Doesn't get excited very often.
I think they'll decline this one. I don't imagine they'll take this one. They've still got a 4th and 10.
I wouldn't take it. I'd go ahead and
I think
have
they'll
them go
decline
4th and 10.
Right here.
I'd decline it and have them they have to pick up 10 yards for the first down, I would decline it. They're calling out football. Why'd they need a new football?
It looks like if they spot it right there, it looks like they're going to take the penalty.
Well, yeah, I guess they should right
there. Well, that
there.
shows a lot of confidence in your defense to give them 2 more cracks at. Of course, they're going to have a third and about a quarter of a mile to get a first down.
I think Roesler is thinking that secondary has a better chance of picking off that interception if they have further to throw. So that's probably a good move because he has to throw a long way for that first down, which gives your secondary a little more time, I think.
But you're in a good situation when you can take a penalty and get them in a 3rd and 20 or 30 something or a 4th and 10. That's a comfortable spot. Another good defensive play.
6:34 the time, running down on the Bear River Bears tonight.
A little draw.
Oh boy, they smelled it beautifully. What a great defensive effort tonight. Shane Quilling is absolutely going crazy tonight.
Great play. Tom Siddell in there again. Casey Roach. We see Robert Cunningham getting up there. Just every guy on that defense, you can mention their name.
You know, if the if the Box Elder Bees were to play Mountain Crest again, I think that would be a different ball game.
I do too. The way that they're playing right now, and they're peaking at the right time.
That's right, right time of the year
when you want to peak.
Matter of fact, Coach Wes Roesler was a little disappointed he didn't have a game next week. He thought the team was developing momentum. He's a little disappointed in that before he played Skyview. So that was a sack that time. 5-yard loss.
A little screen play out to Burn. That looks like Chris Jansen over there.
Chris Jansen looking. They got to make the tackle. They do.
That's
they
it
stop
right
it.
there.
That's it. That could be the ball game. That could be the end of the ball game right there.
That one right there, that series of downs, I think, kind of closes the door right now. You're going to see a huge offensive line for Box Elder just push forward against the tired Bear River defense. And
the Bear River Bears would have to score, it looks like, three touchdowns.
3 times.
And I don't think that's pretty hard to do in 5 minutes.
They won't.
But I think the Box Elder Bees need 1 first down to kind of close this one out. Offsides, Box Elder is going to bring it back. And there's another flag, though, that was thrown after that.
They have an illegal snap or some kind of confusion.
They're talking to the Bears, illegal procedure, Box Elder, 5 yards back. They don't need any penalties. They need to keep the clock running at this point of the game.
They really do that. Box Elder defense, they're going to be back on the field again tonight, and got to make sure that they don't give up too many big plays when they come back out.
That's right. They need to go ahead and try to keep their composure offensively right now. Oh, Stewart, he hurdles a man. He needs a block. He waits for it. He's got a touchdown. He beats one guy, and he's going to miss him. There goes Stewart. Another touchdown.
That's a fantastic
Stewart.
setting up his block again.
You know, we've been critical of Stewart because in the past, he's always outran his blockers. Tonight, he waited for his blockers 2 or 3 times, and he gets another touchdown. And by far, Joe Stewart's best football game of the season.
A great mirror block by number 10, Adam Smoot. A mirror block as he watches the defensive man to see which way he moves, which is set up by the quarterback or the running back running. A great mirror block by Adam Smoot.
We don't give enough credit to those Tom Burstow and Adam Smoot. You're right. He does that quite a bit.
And that's
a lot of
tough
credit to
to
Adam Smoot. Whoa! Right through the middle. How many yards did that go for? 49 yards.
This is a
49-yard
decisive
run play.
Victory for the Bees right now. They're pouring it on.
Well, I think once the Bear River Bears blew their horn one too many times. I really do. They've been really spouting off a lot. A lot of times that works in your favor because the teams get too high, too pepped up, and it works against you. And last year, Box Elder had Bear River Bears and almost defeated them. But tonight, I think it worked against the Bear River Bears. They overlooked the Box Elder Bees one too many times.
That's the great thing about this rivalry. You'll see one of the teams come in, be favored, and the other team comes and knocks them down a few notches. And this happens so often in this rivalry. It's just a great thing to have.
Well, this definitely has to propel the Box Elder Bees in the state rankings. It has to. It has to.
They've just played a superb game. for the entire 48
Well, they're
minutes tonight.
dominating the number 2 team in the state.
They really
they're
are.
not beating them, they're dominating them. There's a kickoff. Oh, there's a short kick. Well, they kind of
Nobody's down
there. They finally pick it
They
up.
fumbled, but Bear River got on it.
There's a fumble, as Trick mentioned, but Bear will take over 1st and 10.
I'm still getting too excited about it.
Yeah, Trick, you're out there playing tonight.
I'm getting worse every game hopping around up here.
That's all right. Fans like a little excitement. Against Ben Lomond, we couldn't get too excited. That was almost too one-sided, but this one, with the Bear River Bears favored by some polls, 13 points, and others by 4 points. But this not even close. Wes Roesler is going to have a
little inside screenplay.
Yeah,
middle
but it's
screen.
read beautifully. Boy, the linebackers are staying home and doing their job tonight. Bill Morrell, I think, isn't it?
Yep. And he's another one that plays a fairly silent game. We don't hear his name called a lot, but he's always somewhere around doing something good.
Maybe 1 yard if they're lucky. The Bear River Bears tonight, Mike Roski better go home and watch his game films a little bit, because Mountain Crest will eat these young men alive, in my opinion.
Well, this is definitely not the Bear River Bear team that...
There's a drop pass. That's what they've been doing all night. Incomplete.
This isn't the
Bear River Bears have given up almost. I hate to say it, but you could see it. Body language. Remember, I told you once before to watch that during Ogden, and you can see it now. Bear River Bears are, I think they're astonished.
They're just really frustrated. This is an embarrassing loss for them. You know, where some of these players live, you're in a lot of contact with the other school. And this is something that the seniors for Bear River are just hating right now.
Yeah, they live for this game.
And this is a difficult thing. And something that the juniors on the Bear River side, they're taking note of this, and they're going to come back next year a little fired up.
There's a long
down
pass,
the middle.
and it's incomplete. Incomplete. Can you believe how Joe Stewart tonight, along with the offensive line, but can you believe to perfection how he's run the Deer?
He's amazing to me, the progress that he makes. He was playing really well at the first of the season.
And he's only a junior.
He's coming back for another year, and if he has
incredible.
A good offensive line in front of him, as I'm sure he will, they're going to be tough again.
Oh, that was partially blocked.
Yes, it was.
I think somebody got a hand on that one. So the Bees, with 3:56 left, they'll just try to run out the clock, I'm sure.
And it's interesting, this has become a blowout, but, you know, Box Elder isn't doing anything to run up the score. They're running the same offensive plays that they've run in the first quarter when it was 7-7.
You and I mentioned at halftime before we were on the air, I didn't think that the Bears could stop our offense. For some reason, it looked like tonight they just did not have the game plan.
They really didn't. They just seemed frustrated. Nothing seemed to work for them on big plays.
Well, I hate to say it, I don't think they did their homework scouting-wise. It looks like they do not have any idea how to stop anything that the Box Elder Bees are
we have a new quarterback in there for Box Elder, number 12 in there, John Jensen.
John Jensen's a freshman, and he plays for the JV, and he's going to get a crack at a few snaps. That kind of shows you what kind of class Wes Roesler has.
It really does.
He's been hearing about the rivalry ever since he's been here, and he has a chance. I'm sure Stewart could run another touchdown, and what does he do? He puts in his freshman and not to run up the score. That's great class.
That's great coaching to build a program, and that's what Wes Roesler is doing right now. He's building a big program here at Box Elder.
Oh, boy.
That's Bryce Norman. That's a freshman pitching to a sophomore.
That's right.
So that's a lot of
combination
faith.
Chemistry from next year.
Yep. I think that's super. I want to give Coach Roesler a lot of credit for that. That's fantastic coaching down there. They've done a fantastic job the whole night. I think he's been a little shock to the community with his intensity, but he's something that the community needs for a football coach.
Well, to me, exactly right. He's the consummate football coach right now for Box Elder High School. Whoa! He almost drilled that one. He zipped it in there, but it falls incomplete. So now they're going to punt. Chad Jones, the intended receiver.
Another sophomore.
So the Box Elder Bees are going to punt. Now who's going to punt? Stewart's going to punt.
Yeah, they'll get the regular kicking game in there.
2:46. Now this defense has a lot of pride. Do you think they're going to let Bear River score here?
Well, if
They
you're-
did last time against against Ogden. That was a little surprising, but let's see what happens. This is a different ball game. It's 2:40 left, 41 to 13. If you've just joined us, and if you are very surprised at the score, I'm not. I thought the Bees would be ready for this ball game. The most impressive thing that I learned from that coaches meeting was, and I'm going to give a lot of credit to both Wes Roesler and his coaching staff, but Shane Quilling spent hours, and on a chalkboard he had every play that Bear River ran and a counter to it, and that's exactly what he did tonight.
That's great preparation for this ball game.
Ooh, he's being rushed. Oh, and he's sacked.
He wrapped him up on that number 55 for the Bees. I think that's Nate Jepson in there.
Boy, they're going with second stringers, and they're still fired up.
He's another sophomore.
2:05 left and counting on the 20-yard line. 29-yard line.
Jared Gallegos.
Jared Gallegos.
We got 255s and 256.
There's that little
on the
screen.
program.
Boy, that's a good tackle in number 40. Number 60, excuse me. 60 and 40. Cunningham on the tackle. Only about a 2-yard gain. Second string doesn't look too bad.
No, they're doing really well.
Do they have a new quarterback in there for Bear River? I can't.
I think that's Woodworth. I think they've taken Jason Rhodes. Jared
Put it
Burnham's
up.
still in there.
Is it incomplete?
That was a fantastic catch by that
No, he
receiver
caught
over
that.
at Bear River.
1:20 left. Pass is complete. How many yards did that go? What was that, about a 35-yard pass?
This is something, too, a lot of high school athletics. It comes into intensity and motivation of the athletes. There isn't a whole lot of spread in the athletes' abilities. It's motivation by the coaches.
Oh, there's a good move. There's some gang tackling going on, though. That'll keep that clock running. Now, the Bear River Bears, you think they'll call a timeout, or you think they'll want to just go home respectable?
I doubt they're going to call a timeout. I think they'll just keep running it out. And well, here comes the Bear River coach out.
I told you he'd call a timeout.
That's kind of unusual for him to do that.
See, personally, I think that Wes Roesler said, hey, look, we're not going to run the score up on you, so I'm pulling out my first string. So the decent thing would be this is my opinion now. I know you want to score, but what for? Because obviously you scored against the second string. I mean, that's my opinion, but is that wrong or right?
Well, I think a lot of it, too, he wants to give that offense, maybe they've got a few plays that they just want to work on a little bit more. You talk about, I guess if there's such thing as football etiquette, you wouldn't do this, but I've never been able to figure out some of the things that come off up north, so I don't know.
Well, like I said, I respect the Bear River Bears, but I think just let the clock run out. They pulled out their first string and said, let's call the ball game over, I think, for intensive purposes. We'll see what happens,
It's a good chance for the Bucks there second string to get a little experience in there. And
another pass reception. Did he go out of bounds again, or did he stay in this
I think
time?
he did go out of bounds. It is a good chance for them to run their 2-minute offense, which, maybe later in the season this could come in to help them, but this chance to do it.
Yeah, they're going to call that another timeout.
Yeah, they would really like to see the game end up right there on about the 27-yard line rather than having another score on the Box Elder team.
That was a nice pass play again, though. What did he throw that for? About 15 yards or so?
It looks like they marked it for an 8-yarder. I thought he was
Oh,
deeper
it's a
than that.
9-yarder. That's what it was.
And
I thought he was deeper than that, but I think he went back far to throw the pass. That's what happened. We got where the scrimmage line was.
just a little out pattern. 8 yards deep, cutting back towards the sideline to get out of bounds and shut the clock off.
Was that Bear River's last time out?
I think it is. That
All
is
right.
a good chance to run their two-man offense. So
Yeah, it really is. Oh, boy, they were in. Oh,
he could be
interception.
gone.
And he's got pay dirt.
He
in
could be
front of
gone.
him. Who is that?
Russell Juber.
Boy, Juber's got
Go,
speed. Juber's got speed. He's going to let the guy catch him. Oh, boy, though. Russell Juber has great speed. I've never seen him.
I know.
He really has great speed.
Oh, that was awesome. Picked it off and, well, good chance for Boxell to run their 2-minute defense at the end of the game.
Oh, my goodness. Well, now, if I was Roesler, I'd throw in the touchdown. One more for good luck.
Oh, I don't know what he'll do. I mean, I don't
One
think
more
he's
for
gonna-
good measure now.
This touchdown here is one that is remembered the next season. So
Russell
it'll be interesting
Juber.
to see what they do here.
What a great interception by Russell
I think
Juber.
they'll just run it forward.
With 34 seconds
I think
left.
they'll just run it out. Just let it go. I don't think they'll run another play.
Boy, Juber had some speed. Were you surprised?
I was.
I didn't know he was that
I grew up
fast.
with his older brother, and I tell you what,
Brian's never been a speedster.
Russell got down the field.
Well, one more play. This will be it. Last play from scrimmage. He'll probably just fall on the ball. No, he's going to hand it off.
Bryce Norman.
Bryce Norman. And that'll be the end of the football game, it looks like.
That was great.
And that's the end of the football game with the Box Elder Bees 41, the Bear River Bears 13, with a big upset in the state.
Huge.
As they upset the number 2 team in the state of Utah in the 3A division. We'll be back for our post-game show with Coach Wes Roesler. That is a lot of dejected Bear River Bears out there. Are there a lot of shaking hands? Yeah, I bet there better be a lot of shaking hands.
We saw a lot of red.
Because the Box Elder Bees just gave him a whipping.
We see
We'll
a lot
be back. Go ahead, finish, Trek.
We see a lot of red running towards the exits right now. They don't want to see some of their co-workers that they're going to see tomorrow morning.
Well, that's the final score. We'll be back for our post-game show with Coach Wes Roesler, 41-13. We'll be back after. We're back here at Ferguson Field, and this is probably one of the. Here comes the head coach right now, Wes Roesler. Wes, go ahead and put your headsets on. But I tell you what, Wes, this is no surprise to me. You and I talked about this, but I picked a closer ball game. But I thought that the Bear River Bears had a tendency to overlook the Box Elder Bees tonight, and we're looking towards Mountain Crest, and you had the game plan to stop them with just that little bit of edge.
Yeah, we, like I said, we've been getting better the last 3 weeks, starting with Ogden, and then Ben Lomond. And I knew we were going to be in the game as soon as I saw the Ben Lomond Bear River game because, hey, Ben Lomond played with him. And that gave our kids the confidence. And I tell you, I've been in football a long time, and I've seen good teams, and Bear River's a good team. They put us down the 3-yard line right before the half, and usually you just run a few dive plays, try to kill the clock and punt it. And our offensive line blew them back that last minute before half. They blew them back 40 yards. I couldn't believe it. Our offensive line dominated the game.
Coach, how do you explain the fact of, you know, and I'm not putting down any teams, I want you to know that, but how do you explain the fact that they look like they did not scout the Box Elder Bees tonight? They couldn't stop a thing you did. Nothing. I have you unofficially 300 yards rushing.
I actually just think it's our best blocking. Our backs blocked well. And then Joe, every game that he plays for Beer, he's just doing better all the time. I don't know what they did as far as scouting, you know, but
it was incredible to see the Bear River Bears in the first half look like somebody shot them with a gun, because it was so surprising that, number one, the fact that they scored so quickly.
Right.
But then immediately you have the touchdown on the kickoff return, and all of a sudden you were back in this ball game, and from there on, Box Elder dominated this football game.
yes, I really think that fumble really hurt us because they went down and scored. But I think the kickoff return, you know, psychologically rebuild up our sidelines, the coaches and the players out on the field, and it was an even game. And then after that, what they did is they overshifted to the strong side. They thought we were a wide side team with Ryan Shaw. So I know a lot of people probably were saying, why in the world I kept running into the sidelines? But they had one less man on the sideline side than they did to the wide side of the field, and that's where we scored 3 touchdowns.
Every time, Coach. I'm surprised they didn't pick that up Also, after the half, they still had that same problem. It looked like they didn't correct it.
In our scout report, we usually run towards Ryan Shaw. And you'll notice out there on their defense, when you watch on the film again, they did not want Ryan Shaw to block down their inside backers, so they stood a linebacker with his back to Shaw.
And you need to give a lot of credit to Ryan Shaw. He's playing with a separated shoulder, so that's really tough on a young man.
Right.
The other thing, Coach, that I was so impressed with, you just mentioned this, was I gave the offensive players of the game to the offensive team. I couldn't believe a team effort tonight. There wasn't one solo. I mean, Joe looked great. Berto looked great. Your backs looked great. Your offensive line, like you said, they were blowing the men at least 10 yards off the ball every time. I thought this was what you call a team effort. Defensively, there'd be Gailey, then there'd be Juber, then you'd have somebody else, Neely or somebody on the tackles, gang tackling all the time. I just think that you probably had the perfect game plan for the Bear River Bears tonight.
Yeah, you know, as far as defense, I want to give Coach Quilling a lot of credit. He outlined what they did out of each formation, and you know, we just had a great game plan there. And then, of course, you know, game plans don't mean a thing. The kids came out and destroyed the block, and there was times where I counted 11 guys on the ball, and you know, we made two mistakes: the fumble in 4-down territory, and I give him a score, and then we had a person step inside with a missed tackle, and he ran 80 yards for a touchdown. And otherwise, that's the only two mistakes we made defensively.
Coach, let me ask you this question. A lot of people are going to ask this. How good are the Box Elder Bees? You know, some people were telling me tonight, you know, if we were to play Mountain Crest right now, we'd probably go toe-to-toe with them now because of where I don't think you've completely peaked, but I think you're on your way up, don't you?
Yeah, these kids have a burning desire since they were put down so is this not being a very good class and so forth, and so they've made strides and set goals here to improve every week, and we are going to get better. I don't know if we've quite reached the Mountain Crest level, because if we get shut down defensively, I don't know if we can go to the air and win. You know, we're still questionable there, so, but we're getting better. We really are.
Yeah, Joe threw a really nice pass there, too, on that touchdown pass.
Right.
Well, Coach, we're looking
well,
now.
The thing that amazed me
go ahead.
is when we, you remember those early games, just the offensive line, it was just leak. And we're finally doing our zone blocking rules, and to play side, you just don't see the leaks like you used to.
Well, I was a little bit down on the secondary at the first of the year, Coach, but I'm so impressed with your secondary. There were many times tonight where Woodworth just didn't have a man to throw to. So that's great. And also the pass rush tonight was incredible.
At times it was real great.
It was great. Coach, now you got a week off, and I know you talked to me about this. You'd rather have played a game because momentum seems to be continuous if you're playing.
Well, new coaches and new players, I think we have a lot to gain and learn by playing games, because the film aspect, you don't really learn football until you watch the film.
Exactly.
And you don't learn by just practicing. But
right.
we will. There are some things we need to heal up. Our running backs are a little bit dinged up, and Shaws are dinged up, and we've lost a lot of weight. We've had football players lose 10 and 15 pounds. So this might be a good thing for us.
They're also gaining it in strength, though, Coach. I see them in the weight room all the time, so that's a credit to you. Well, Coach, we're just looking at statistics here just a little bit. I have you 300 yards rushing, like I said. Bear River unofficially had about 68 yards. I had them unofficially in that second half. You really shut down Burnham. You know, you told me this in a quote. You said, you stop Burnham, you stop Bear River. And you know what? They depend just on Burnham, don't they? Too much. And I think that Mountain Crest is going to almost do the same thing to them. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
Well, I think they got something. They beat Mountain Crest in a great game last year, and they might come back from this and see if Bear River can beat Mountain Crest, they have to buy 3 trophies.
That's right. That's a 3-way tie. And then I guess what you'd have to do is, I guess Mountain Crest would get the first place bid, though, since they beat us. Is that right?
Yeah, who cares?
Into the state playoffs. No, I just meant as far as the playoffs. People have been talking about the playoffs.
I think since it's a 3-way, would be a 3-way tie, they'd have to go on some point system. Who beat who the worst.
Okay, so you might be right. It might not be head-to-head.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens. Well, tonight, Box Elder Bees on the winning end of this football game, and, of course, according to the state, it's an upset. According to you, Coach, you had them scouted out. 41-13, Box Elder over Bear River. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Joe Batesel, Trek Lions, Coach Wes Roesler. Have a pleasant evening.